high in the air, and strut like you just don't care. If you like the body with break and scrape, somebody say, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Raking up these great heads, oh, be raking up these great heads, yeah, be raking up these great heads, man, be shaking up these shaking. Oh, box to box, belly to belly, counting on Oklahoma, raking straight, going so far we be stalling on the moon. C-R-B-K-B, ancient spice and Gino, let's go Gino, Red, Elon, Iron, Dylan, Ronnie, Bumpy, yeah, be raking up these great heads, oh, be raking up these great heads, yeah, be raking up these great heads, oh, be raking up these great heads, yeah, be raking up these great heads, oh yeah, be raking up these great heads, yeah, be raking up these great heads, oh, be raking up these great heads, come on, break it straight. Now let the guys up. Big thing. Oh, be waking up. Oh, guys up. Oh, yeah. Believe down. Now let the guys up. Rick and scream. Oh, be waking up. He's ready. Oh,
After 66 steps, I'm Matea Cunningham. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. From Studio A. It all starts right now.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's Thursday, April 10th, and you're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jiminita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. In a stunning turn on the global stage, President Donald Trump hit pause on tariffs to most of U.S. trading partners, sending Wall Street into celebration mode. The S&P 500 rockets nearly 10% and the Dow up almost 8%, its biggest single-day gain in years. But while Europe, Canada, and others get a breather, China takes the hit. The U.S. is now slapping a whopping 145% tariff on Chinese imports. That's more than double the previous rate of 60%, a historic high in U.S.-China trade tensions. Economists warn the short-term market rally may come at a long-term cost. Trade war round 2, we'll be watching. Well, the death of 23-year-old Denari Macalmont from Maryland, found unresponsive on a Paradise Island beach this past weekend, has been ruled a drowning following an autopsy. Macalmont had just arrived with family last Friday. The incident captured international headlines, with family members now seeking greater clarity on the investigation following the disclosure by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Authorities are still awaiting a toxicology report, but at this stage, foul play is not suspected. And hold on to your seats, folks. The dating show that's been popping up all over your feeds is making a big leap from YouTube to Netflix. Pop the Balloon Live premieres tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, hosted by the hilarious Yvonne Orji. Contestants, they're not just any singles, they're reality TV stars like Johnny Bananas and Farrah Abraham. The twist, each dater holds a balloon, and if they're not feeling the spark, pop. They're out. With over 100 million views online, this live adaptation promises more drama, more laughs, and of course, more balloon popping. Tune in tonight to see who finds love and who gets left in the dust. Well, we have an engaging show for you today. In studio, we have Dr. Katroya Oliver to debunk popular myths about the medical field. Also, let's find out why Holy Week is the most important week on the Christian calendar. And the Perfume Bar is in studio to help you spring into a new scent for Easter. This and so much more after the break. You're watching What's Trending.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The Agri Expo made a triumphant return this past weekend at the Gladstone Road Farmers Market site under the theme Food Security is Our Priority. The event shined a spotlight on the nation's push to revitalize local farming and food production.
This is more than just a theme. It is a call to action. For too long, we've depended heavily on food imports, leaving us vulnerable to price fluctuations, supply chain disruptions, and external economic shocks. We must remember what we possess. We have the land, the waters, and most importantly, the passionate and skilled people to change this narrative.
At the opening ceremony this past Friday, Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister Jomo Campbell boasted about the ministry's efforts to invest in the nation's youth.
Our young people are the future of Bahamian agriculture. That is why we continue to support the school agriculture programs by donating essential supplies. Today, we will award 30 schools with resources to strengthen their agriculture initiatives. And soon, you will also hear more about the launch of the Agricultural Cadet Program.
Minister Campbell emphasized that agriculture is not just farming, it's innovation, culture, and economic growth. He says the expo proves that with the right support and youth involvement, the Bahamas can grow its way to a more sustainable future.
Let us leave here today not just inspired, but committed to making real change. Let us invest in our people, our land, and our waters, so that future generations inherit a Bahamas that is self-sufficient, resilient, and thriving.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Despite major advances in modern medicine, dangerous health myths continue to spread, and doctors say they're putting lives at risk. From skipping checkups to misusing antibiotics, many people are unknowingly making choices that could jeopardize their well-being. In studio, we have Dr. Katroya Oliver, a general practitioner at the Mount Olive Medical, to debunk the top 5 health myths she wishes everyone would stop believing. Welcome to What's Trending, Dr. Oliver.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's great to have you here with us. So why do you think medical myths are so common even in this information age and social media age?
I think it's a culture, right? It's been passed down from generation to generation, and people generally listen to their parents and grandparents when it comes to health. And so we really, as healthcare practitioners, we have to take up that mantle to, like you said, debunk the myths and use evidence-based practices and medicine with guiding the future generations.
That makes sense. So how do these myths impact on the patient health and doctor-patient relationship?
So the myths become evident when it's time for medication, right? Because a lot of times they'll listen to the doctor, they'll come get their checkup. However, when it's time for treatment, oh, no, I don't take pills, right? How many times I've heard that? If I had $1 for every time,
You'd be rich, eh?
I would. So it's a struggle with debunking the misinformation, getting them to trust Western medicine, right? Getting them to trust in the science that's behind taking the medication, and proving that, yes, there's a place always for natural medicine, but you also can benefit from big pharma, right? And taking the medication that you're prescribed.
Well, the first myth we see, or you only see a doctor when you're sick. Now, we know that that's a common thing that we hear, and you know that's not the truth. So what are the risks of only visiting a doctor when you see the symptoms?
Right, so pathology starts on a cellular level. So our mantle as doctors, especially in preventative primary care, we need to stop it at that cellular level, and that comes through screening. Right, so you're not going to feel it on a cellular level. You're going to feel it when it gets to the organ level and the systemic level. But at the cellular level, we have to do screening. So that includes things like pap smears, colonoscopies, getting your PSA for men, your prostate-specific antigen testing. So that is the whole goal. You don't wait until you feel sick to go to the doctor.
That makes sense. And how often should the average adult really be going in for checkups and screenings?
At least minimum once a year. If you're a healthy young adult with no illnesses, baseline minimum once a year for your screening. However, if you have illnesses, at least every 3 months.
And we know that the second myth we've heard or seen around is vaccines cause autism. This myth still lingers. We saw it during COVID-19, the pandemic. What do you say to patients who are hesitant about vaccines overall?
I say let's look at the research, right? There are copious studies that have been done, and I actually open the studies up and try to break it down as best I can and just try to make them more aware of the science. Don't just go by what you hear, right? It needs to be backed by science. And when I show them the evidence, they tend to come around and feel more comfortable with that, with vaccines and vaccination in general.
That sounds good. Now, this is another popular one where we say natural means safe and better. So why do you think that the word natural carries so much trust in those health conversations you have with your patients?
Again, in our Bahamian society, and I love my people, however, this bush medicine mentality has carried down, and there's nothing wrong with bush medicine. It has its place. I don't look down on it at all. However, it carries a little bit too much weight in our society. I feel like we need to open up our minds to the, again, clinical evidence, clinical-based research, and put the two together. They can coexist, natural as well as the pharmaceutical side of things.
Now, obviously, if you feel fine, everything must be fine. This is another myth that we hear. Right. How common is it for a patient to feel healthy but still have underlying conditions like you mentioned earlier, like high blood pressure?
All the time, all the time. So it's scary, in fact, and that's why a lot of times when patients present with things like hemorrhagic stroke, where a blood vessel ruptures in the brain, they probably had high blood pressure for many years and just never went to the doctor because they felt fine, and then now they're in ICU.
Well, definitely some good tips there, but tell us, what's your #1 health advice you wish more people would follow?
I think having a better relationship with your doctor. This whole, and I don't take it personally, this whole, oh, I don't believe in doctors. I take care of myself. I don't take pills. There's this strange mentality that I can take care of my health all on my own, when it doesn't have to be that way. You can have a great relationship with your provider and get the support that you need. Yeah.
Well, hopefully the advice that you provide will make some changes there. But how can persons get in contact with you if maybe they're interested in following up things with you?
Yes, I'd love to have them as a patient, no problem. So you can find me at Mount Olive Medical Center, and you can reach us at mountolivemedical.com, fully functional website. You can book online or call us at 603-4440, and we'll be there for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Oliver, for joining us on What's Trending today. We know that you're also a viewer, so that's a plus as well.
Love the show. Yes, yes.
But thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, up next, we sit down with a reverend to discuss Holy Week. That and so much more after the break. Stay with us.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
Hi everyone, when heading to Florida to shop for your essentials, book your transportation with GoGoFlorida.com. The $100 cash deposit is back now on your debit card. Accepted at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Now there are lots of options to choose from, but I like the Tesla X, the electric vehicle, because I don't have to worry about gassing up. Or the Jeep Compass seating 5 with lots of space for your luggage or shopping bags. For the best deals, book now at GoGoFlorida.com, BahamasAir.com, and also available at Bahamas Air Sales Office.
Diet-friendly special.
As Christians around the world prepare for Easter next week, the sacred week leading up to it, known as Holy Week, carries centuries of tradition, reflection, and meaning. To understand the roots and evolution of these powerful observances, we have in studio Reverend Dr. Ethan Ferguson, rector at Holy Cross Anglican Church, to explore the rich history and lasting significance of Holy Week. Welcome to What's Trending, Reverend Ferguson.
Good, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. So briefly, can you explain for us the historical origins of Holy Week in the Christian calendar, or tradition rather?
Yes, well, of course, Holy Week is considered the week that really transformed the entire world, and it begins, of course, with Palm Sunday. It is really a week of commemoration and remembering and praying and reflecting on what Jesus did for our salvation. And of course, that begins with Palm Sunday, where we commemorate the entry of Jesus into Jerusalem. And the people are spreading their cloaks on the road, and they are waving palm branches and praying for him to save them. And of course, that is a grand occasion. It is a wonderful occasion to begin Holy Week with, but it hints of what the darkness that is going to happen a little later in the story. Because those same persons will later on kind of betray Jesus in the sense of asking for him to be crucified by Pontius Pilate. And so the next thing that happens during Holy Week is Maundy Thursday. Maundy really comes from the word mandatum, which means command. Jesus establishes a command on that evening with his disciples. And he says to them that my new commandment is for you to love one another. He exemplifies that love by washing their feet, and then he institutes the Holy Communion and shares his body and blood with them. And then, of course, Good Friday is the day that we commemorate the death of Christ, the crucifixion or the passion of Christ.
But before you get into that,
okay,
why is it called Good Friday, even though we lead into the crucifixion? See, I need you to explain that for persons to understand.
Yeah, well, you know, a simple explanation is this. It was bad for him, but it was good for us.
You started to break down the days of the week. You did next week. We still need you to explain the Saturday and the Sunday for us, just so people have the complete picture of, obviously, the crucifixion and the victory after that.
Of course. So, like I mentioned, you know, Good Friday is the crucifixion, and then, of course, on Silent Saturday, some people call it. It is when, you know, Jesus, of course, is laid in the tomb, and there's a silence that the earth has. And the disciples are locked up, they are afraid, they are in fear for their lives. And then Easter Sunday, of course, is another game changer. If Good Friday was not big enough, Easter Sunday just blows it out of the water. Because what Jesus said he would do, he does, he did. and he rose from the dead, something that had never happened before. And so he comes back from the dead, he comes back from the grave. His disciples witness him, they see him alive. He is not a ghost or some spiritual being, he is himself. And this emboldens them, this gives them new life, this reinvigorates their faith, and their confidence in God peaks at this moment. Because if Jesus could have done all of these wonderful things on earth, if he could have died, if he could have suffered in the way that he did for us, and yet that was not the end of the story, and now he is alive, there's nothing that God cannot do. And so that's the excitement of Easter. That's why there's such joy. That's why we use all of the beautiful colors. And that's why the spring, even the earth rejoices. You know, the flowers are budding. The weather is beautiful because Christ is risen from the dead.
Well, you see all of this enthusiasm. Obviously, you can find Reverend Ferguson at Holy Cross Anglican Church on Sundays at 7 a.m. and 9:30 for Sunday service. That's a lot of excitement there, but it definitely was a pleasure having you with us here on What's Trending, Reverend Ferguson.
Thank you.
Well, on the other side of the break, our friends from the Perfume Bar are in studio. Stay with us.
Bahamas Development Group of companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass it along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
This spring, we dive into skincare, luxury skincare with the Perfume Bar. Someone who is deeply passionate about high-performance skincare and the artistry behind luxury beauty brands. La Perez's commitment to merging cutting-edge technology with the finest ingredients to create truly transformative products. In studio, we have Shandy DeVoe from the Perfume Bar. Welcome back to What's Trending, Shandy.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you here with us. Now, La Perez's Skin Caviar line is iconic. So tell us, what makes it stand out from other luxury skincare products that's on the market?
Okay, well, the science behind La Prairie, it's been a pioneer since over almost a half a century. La Prairie is a Swiss brand, and what makes it stand out is its cellular exclusive complex, which helps to re-energize and revitalize the skin.
That sounds like some good stuff there. And obviously, caviar is central to many of their products. So how is La Prairie's caviar technology unique?
Okay, the caviar, with the caviar, it helps to firm and tighten and lift the skin.
And everybody wants that.
And everybody wants that.
We want to retain that youthful look.
That youthful. And what La Prairie does, their technology helps to slow down the aging process. Their aim is to make sure that everybody's skin, they take care of everybody's skin needs. Okay, it gives you a healthy glow. And then you have that firming and lifting. You want to feel elegant and sexy, and you want your face to look good as your body looks good.
Of course. So what skin concerns are most effectively targeted by La Prairie's hero products, and what kind of visible results can customers expect?
What's expected is you're going to see a difference in your skin. You're going to see from fine lines to wrinkles diminish over time. You have the Essence and Skin Lotion, which is a pre-serum treatment that helps to tighten the skin instantly. Then you also have the luxurious Caviar Cream. It feels like silk on the skin, and it refines the skin and retexturizes the skin. Then we also have something that you can use at night, which is the sleep mask. So even while you're sleeping, your skin is regenerating and renewing itself, and you're getting that firming and lifting.
So it sounds like a triple threat.
Triple threat, and it's for all ages and all skin types.
That was going to be my next question, if everyone can use it. Because, you know, some may say it maybe just for some persons, but it's for every skin type.
Every skin type.
And when do you think is a good time to use it?
The cream, all of these you can use, these two products you can use day and night. This is just for nighttime. You want to use like maybe 2-3 times a week. It's just a special nighttime treatment.
Okay, and this is daily?
And this is daily.
All right, so why should persons run out and grab it?
Because it's not just luxury, it actually works.
And that's the key part.
You want to spend money, but you want to see that it's working for you. Your skin is going to love you. It's going to drench your skin in moisture. It's going to be hydrated, and it's going to be lifted.
That sounds really, really good. So remind us where you're located so persons can check out the brand if they're interested.
Sure. We're located on Bay Street opposite Royal Bank, right across from Royal Bank. We're open from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We open on Sundays from 9 to 3.
So there's no excuse?
There's no excuse. And some holidays.
Awesome. Well, it was great having you here again with this luxury line, Shandy. Thank you so much for joining us again on What's Trending.
Thank you.
Now, obviously, we are ensuring that you stay cool and efficient. So CoolTech is here to share essential tips to help you beat the heat and keep your home comfortable all season long.
Vibrant culture, beautiful blue waters, and crisp white sand. It's no joke when we say we live where you vacation. But living in this tropical oasis can definitely come with some sweltering heat. Here's how to keep your condensing and outdoor unit from CoolTech in tip-top shape. First, have your condensing coil unit clean and free from trash, leaves, or any obstruction that can cover it. The coil unit can be self-cleaned by turning your AC unit off and using a hose to wash the AC coil unit. Call an AC professional to come to the site, check your refrigerant pressure, and recharge your AC system with refrigerant if the levels are too low. Ensure that your outdoor fan is fully operational. If the fan is operating in the correct direction, the air will be hot and not cool. If the air is cool, you might want to check your compressor or the refrigerant levels on your unit are incorrect. If you have a mini split or ductless unit, ensure to have the unit cleaned. This entails washing or brushing off the air filters, cleaning the air handler wheel, and flushing the drainage. For the outdoor unit of the mini split, have the unit washed and clear of debris, and also have it checked for refrigerant pressures. If your AC unit requires constant refrigerant gas up, you may have a refrigerant leak. Contact an AC professional to have it repaired. For more tips, visit CoolTech on Tonic Williams Darling Highway or email them at sales@cooltechbahamas.com. Store hours are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. They're closed on Sundays. Telephone 341-4665 or 467-5663. CoolTech, technology to keep you cool. If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Diet-friendly special.
Hello everyone, this is Tony Williams back with a special promotion for BahamasAir.com and GoGo Florida. The $100 deposit is back, but it's only on your debit card. So whether you're renting that sedan, SUV, or spacious minivan for group or family trips, keep your cash in your pocket. Only Dollar Thrifty is making it convenient for you. Your $100 deposit held on your debit card. Available at Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Book now and save big all summer long.
And that's all the time we have for today. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their insights and stories with us. Now, in observance of Holy Week, there will be no What's Trending next week. We will return with all new content and guests on Monday, April 21st at 6 p.m. Thank you for your understanding, and we wish you a reflective and blessed Holy Week. Have a great weekend, everyone.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The Prime Minister says government will do their part to alleviate the impact of U.S. tariffs. Also, F&M support of Grand Bahamas infrastructural development called into question by the PLP chairman. And the search for a 24-year-old missing Grand Bahama man temporarily suspended.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
We have been in contact with U.S. officials regarding the change in policy, and we are working with fellow Caribbean countries on collective diplomatic efforts.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, government will make efforts to mitigate against any negative impact expected as a result of new tariffs imposed by the United States. But the nation's leader admits the country could face some headwinds. In tonight's top story, Cleopatra Murphy shares the Prime Minister's assessment of what could lie ahead.
The country will not be unscathed by the Trump administration's tariffs. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, in a national address Wednesday, pledging to be straightforward with the public, says the country is facing new and very significant challenges following the turbulence that has ensued in global markets.
I've been talking to leaders of other countries, reaching out to the executives in our business communities, and consulting with economists and trade experts to assess the likely impact and to plan for multiple scenarios.
The Trump administration implemented sweeping new tariffs last week with a new 10% base rate tariff applied to imports from the Bahamas. The Bahamas among 100 countries subject to that rate, with other countries receiving higher. The Trump administration yesterday put a 90-day pause on its reciprocal tariffs for most countries except China. That imposed an 84% reciprocal tariff, with the Trump administration hitting China with a 145% duty raise. The Prime Minister revealed how the policy impacts the Bahamas.
If the 10% tariff on Bahamian goods imported into the United States remains, Bahamian exporters in multiple industries will soon feel the impact. We have been in contact with U.S. officials regarding the change in policy, and we are working with fellow Caribbean countries on collective diplomatic efforts. We are also speaking with Bahamian exporters and working to understand whether there are short-term policies we could enact to cushion the fallout.
For the Bahamas, Prime Minister Davis says trade diversification is key, with an agency now focused on expanding trade opportunities.
The new tariffs are likely to cause new inflationary pressures, which would mean higher prices for Bahamian consumers. For a country like ours, higher prices will add to what is already an unbearable high cost of living. We are very concerned about the impact on Bahamian families.
He touted energy reform efforts and a recent reduction to 5% on VAT on unprepared foods, as he says government will continue efforts to provide relief, acknowledging a slowdown of the U.S. economy could also deal a blow to tourism. The Prime Minister highlighted Moody's recent revision of the country's outlook from stable to positive. That report acknowledging the Bahamas' vulnerability to external factors.
Today, we face new risks amid enormous uncertainty. The U.S. tariffs are the highest they've been in more than a century. And since then, of course, the world's economies and supply chains have become intertwined in complex ways, making it difficult to predict with precision what happens next.
The nation's leader says the Bahamas is facing uncharted territory, but it knows how to weather the storm. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
In other news, the Progressive Liberal Party chairman is calling into question the Free National Movement's commitment to the island's growth and development. Is his response to the FNM leader's criticism about a controversial $183 million contract for West Grand Bahama roadworks. Cleopatra Murphy has that report.
Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard must say if the party supports the expansion and investment of infrastructure on Grand Bahama, all of which Minister of Foreign Affairs and Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says are pressing needs for the island.
And it is remarkable that a party that would take the position that he does, I mean, Grand Bahama in particular needs infrastructural development from 8 Mile Rock all the way to West End. All the side roads need to be done, the main roads need to be done. And the seawalls need to be done. It needs to be redesigned and repaired. Lots need to be cleared. All of that stuff needs to be done.
The statement from Mitchell comes as Pintard and FNM Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands suggested a statement from the Office of the Prime Minister that a $183 million no-bid contract awarded to Bahamas Striping Group of Companies affiliate Abaco Caribbean Holdings Limited had been paused and was included on a recently published public procurement list due to an administrative error. But neither is buying it. Pintard questioning how a mistake could happen and why the Prime Minister would insult the public's intelligence. Mitchell insists Pintard clearly does not understand that the statement said the allocation was paused and should never have been on the list, with the publication of something that no longer stands being the error.
It's remarkable that you would have a Bahamian vendor who's able to be qualified by an international financial agency, independent of any support of the government. And so all of it was a go. The problem is that there are certain things which needed to be reviewed. The Prime Minister, when he saw that, said, look, we have to go another direction. For the time being, it's being reviewed. And as the statement says, when that review is done, we will let the public know.
Pintard criticized that how the contract is being executed deprives Bahamians of an opportunity to bid, while the Prime Minister is willing to break the Public Procurement Act.
When it was passed, the Progressive Liberal Party made it clear that this was, in our view, a pretext by the Free National Movement to give contracts to the usual group of people who have monies in this country. And our view was there had to be some protections for the ability of the government to open up the market to other vendors. And that's been largely successful, so this is often called single sourcing. And there's nothing unlawful about it. There are circumstances under which it can be done.
The PLP chairman suggests he is disturbed that the vendor in question had been brought into the matter.
They are essentially project managers, and they share the work around. Some 40 subcontractors, all Grand Bahamians, would have had work, would have been working now, had this proceeded.
Mitchell insists there is no attempt to hide anything, insisting that the FNM should not stand in the way of urgently needed infrastructural development for the island and should support it. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Switching gears now, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training is responding to recent social media posts and news reports suggesting that accommodations are not being made for students with special needs. In a statement, the ministry reaffirmed that inclusive education remains a top priority. Over the past 2 years, more than 30 special education teachers have been engaged, and 14 teachers have received scholarships to pursue master's degrees in special education, some of whom are already in the classroom supporting students students with diverse learning needs. The ministry also noted key milestones, including the appointment of the first visually impaired principal at the Aaron Gilmore School for the Blind and the inclusion of pre-vocational students in extracurricular activities such as track and field. Efforts are now underway to expand the Bahamas High School Diploma program to include academic equivalencies that promote even greater access and inclusivity in education. While addressing the specific case involving a child with special needs in Abaco, the ministry confirmed that the student had been receiving assistance until the resignation of a staff member. A teacher later stepped in to support, but when a particular demand could not be met, the parent made the decision to keep the child at home. The ministry says its team has been in communication with the parent and in the interim has provided access to virtual learning for the student. In a follow-up statement, the ministry advised that following consultation with the parent, the student will resume in-person classes immediately as the necessary support has now been put in place. Well, that's good news tonight for 7-year-old royalty Newton and her mother, Deandra. ZNS News broke the news of the ministry's updated decision to royalty's mother, who says she never wanted to turn to the media, but is now overjoyed that her daughter can return to the classroom.
Now, if she had contacted me or someone had contacted me before all of these interviews went out, I would have never went to the media. I would have just canceled and tell the reporter I'm good. I would delete the post, everything. I would have just dropped it. But nobody reached out to me. But it's better late than never. I am sad it had to happen this way, but I'm relieved. I cannot wait to walk through that front door and give her the good news because I know she's going to be excited. I'm excited for her. I cannot wait to see her expression.
Meantime, the search for 24-year-old Dudley Gilbert Jr. has been temporarily suspended due to turbulent weather conditions. Press liaison officer for the Royal Bahamas Police Force in the Northern Bahamas, Superintendent Stephen Roll, confirmed the update, noting that efforts to locate the young man remain active despite the setback. Roll is urging anyone with information that could aid in the investigation to come forward and assist authorities as they continue their search for Gilbert.
Still doing searches. However, due to the weather conditions, the vessels are unable to make those proper checks until it subsides. We'll I can say that the aeroplanes are still up to aerial searches of the area. Hopefully, we'll come up with something very shortly. As soon as the weather breaks, the police marine boat will block out the waters, doing their searches again.
In news from police, a 19-year-old female along with 3 males are in police custody in connection with an armed robbery on Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Police reports indicate that it was around 12:30 p.m. when the victim arranged to meet a man unknown to him at a local business establishment on East Mall Drive to purchase his vehicle. Once he arrived at the location, he was approached from behind by 2 males known to him who produced firearms and robbed him of a large sum of cash. The suspects fled the scene, escaping in a white SD vehicle, license plate SG2437, in an easterly direction. Officers acting on information located the culprits at a residence on Chichester Crescent, where the lone female occupant was cautioned and arrested. It was later officers took into custody the 3 male suspects on Allenby Lane, and this matter remains under active police investigations.
And still to come.
The Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce hosting a special installation ceremony. We will have that story, sports, and more when we return.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Get ready, Grand Bahama. you're invited to Flamingo Lingo 3rd Anniversary Walkthrough, Speech, Exhibition, and Social, the very first of its kind on the island. It all happens this Saturday, April 12th at 17 Plaza from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Catch the Easter sale at Esquire's during the month of April. Buy one suit and get a shirt and tie absolutely free. Give them a call today at 352-8816.
Spring into savings and take advantage of Majestic Retail's Yellow Tide sale. Save up to 20% on smart TVs, tablets, Fire Sticks, mini split AC units, pedestal fans, and so much more. They're located in the bonded area. Call them at 351-3936. A deal is guaranteed at Majestic Retails.
Sunday, April 20th, it's the 8 Mile Rock Homecoming, featuring the 2025 Junkanoo champion, the Swingers Junkanoo Crew. Feel the vibe as they take another victory lap. Sunday, April 20th at Sunset Village 8 Mile Rock Fish Fry. See you there.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
I am ready.
I am ready. I am ready.
Ready or not, it's here. That's right, the biggest gospel show with me, Uncle T Baby Boy, on 8:10 a.m. That's right, interviews, greatest songs, praise and worship. It's going to be exciting. We're going to take the Bahamas to the world and bring the world to the Bahamas.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce hosted its official installation dinner at the Grand Ilocos Resort, bringing together corporate Bahamas to recognize and celebrate the official installation of the 2025 President and Board of Directors. The CEO of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Leo Roll, was in-house alongside Chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority and other government officials.
The deal is sealed and it's official. The newly elected president and board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce in 2025 have been installed and are ready to serve the business community of Grand Bahama. The beautiful ceremony took place at a packed venue at the Grand Ilocos, featuring live musical performances and speeches from prominent figures, including Dr. Leo Roll, CEO of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Sarah St. George, chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and Dylan Knowles, president of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce.
As you're aware, I was Chamber Vice President many years ago, and so it's nothing new to me tonight. However, it's always nice when you step up to the top position and have total responsibility for what goes on in the Chamber for the next 12 months, and so I look forward to it.
Speaking to the impactful work of the Chamber, several members of the Board of Directors expressed their pride in being a part of the team and shared their enthusiasm for continuing the important work ahead. They are committed to driving progress and supporting the ongoing efforts needed to benefit the community.
Our role is to always facilitate growth and advocate on behalf of the business community.
I never thought I would actually be a part of the chamber. I knew I wanted always to be a member, of course, but to be on the board, it is a static feeling.
The chamber is all about business, and it will continue, I'm sure, to do everything possible to be a facilitator and encouraging the growth and development of business in Grand Bahama.
CEO of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority delivering remarks, hailing the Chamber of Commerce as the key curators for the island's business community.
Our job is never easy, but at the end of the day, once the business community is happy, once they are actually thriving, well, first surviving and then thriving, our job has been done.
So imagine a free port where every district pulses with life, where every corner hums with music and art and soul, where industry and commerce thrive. Imagine yourselves at the chamber, stage managing this new world trading post of goods and people stepping ashore to embark on adventure. Imagine the government and the Port Authority working hand in hand with each other and with you. As that other John wrote, you may call me a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
Meantime, the Pride of Grand Bahama Lodge No. 7 hosting its annual Boys Conference down in 8 Mile Rock. Secretary for the Pride, Michael Williams, says each year the Pride reaches out to the seniors of 8 Mile Rock High School to not only prepare them for the workforce, but life.
We targeted the grades from 10 to 12, as they are the young men who are about to enter the workforce, enter the communities, etc. We basically try to reach out and explain to them, hey, the world is a tough place, and if you're not prepared, you're going to get knocked down. So we try to, again, let them know what to expect, what to look out for, and how to accomplish the challenges that they're going to face.
General Manager of Spartan Construction, Deshaun Smith, spoke to the young men about time management and the importance of investing in themselves.
We're in the information age, just trying to spend some of the time that they use on social media for positive things of educational value and not just social value. And then I wanted to highlight also just investing in books, reading more, and how self-education is important even if you can't go to college. It's been important for us. I mean, one for the home community of us, 8 Mile Rock, but also just really pouring into young men, seeing that young men in this country, you know, we tend to get the bad rap in terms of reputation, and we want to be able to share nuggets of information that the kids will take on to their future to be more successful.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's happening in sports?
I picked up a new sport, darts. And the darts team from Grand Bahama traveling to Luther this weekend for a much-needed competition. I think you should try playing darts, Megan.
I'm definitely interested. Well, thanks. Sports is coming your way next after this short break.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I still want to put shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
And I still want to put shoes on your feet.
We still want to put shoes on your feet.
2 locations to put shoes on your feet. Downtown Freeport, and now our newest location in the Carmichael City Shopping Plaza, right behind the Walk Up Wendy's, Carmichael Road West.
Spring into savings and take advantage of Majestic Retail's Yellow Tag sales. Save up to 20% on smart TVs, tablets, Fire Sticks, mini split AC units, pedestal fans, and so much more. They're located in the bonded area. Call them at 351-3936. A deal is guaranteed at Majestic Retails.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Super P, the entertainer from TCI. I'm stopping by to tell you about the 2nd annual Come Go With Me Best of the Best Music Festival happening in the Turks and Caicos Islands on June 7th, 2025 at the Grace Bay Marketplace. If you haven't as yet, get your tickets, get your flights, and meet me in Turks and Caicos Island because this is about to be a real big movie. Let's go to Turks and Caicos.
Hey, what's up, Grand Bahama? KB here. Hey, it's your boy D-Mark in the building.
Jump and dance, and hey, this is Gino D.
Hello, Wilford Solomon here.
Grand Bahama, what's up? Yours truly, Tico T here to let y'all know Sunday, April 28th, we are going to be in 8 Mile Rock.
It's going to be on Jonestown Fish Fry at the Sunset Village. To Grand Bahama, you all know I love you all so much.
Gates open at 7 p.m. I'll be in the house with all the Rick's great generals.
Back by the top tier band.
Gates going to open at 7 p.m. Show start properly at 8 p.m.
You will enjoy yourself.
8 Mile Rock homecoming.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. Topping Sports, the Grand Bahama Darts Association is taking a team to Eleuthera this weekend to compete in the Gold Cup Inter-Island Darts Tournament. Competition is expected to be stiff with some of the top darts players in the country.
The associations from each island, we have Abaco, New Providence, well, Nassau as they call it, Eleuthera and Grand Bahama are active now. It's a tournament to pretty much determine the top association in the Bahamas. We have a 14-member team, 9 men, 8 and 1 reserve, 5 women, 4 and 1 reserve. And yeah, so far we're looking good. The practices have been going well. And on the first day, which is Friday, we play a round robin where each island plays against each other. We play singles, doubles, triples, mixed doubles where it would be a male and a female, mixed triples where it would be 2 males and a female.
Next in sports, the Nigel Boodle's senior men's and ladies fast-pitch softball tournament scheduled to take place in Abaco next weekend is just days away. The Gremlins out of New Providence is once again looking to defend their title, this time going for a three-peat.
Our confidence level is extremely high, but in the same light, being the defending champs, we know that, opposing teams are going to be gunning for us, so we're going to try our best to remain as focused as possible. And, like I say, our confidence is extremely high. So we're looking forward to doing pretty good.
And finally in sports, high school girls basketball championship action over at the YMCA Gymnasium. In junior girls play, Sister Mary Patricia defeated Tabernacle 17-8 to win the girls' title in the best of 3 series. Caitlin Major scored 8 points for the Panthers, securing MVP honors. In the senior girls game, St. George's dominated BMES 26-9 to take game 1 of that series. Nastasia's Sherry Font scored a team-high 20 points to lead the Lady Jaguars. Ladies and gents, that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new girl?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
Here at Dynasty Graphics, we provide the following services to churches, corporate, schools, funerals. We can specialize in mugs, wide format printing, wide format laminations. Also can get thermal binding, which is new to basically Grand Bahama, and we specialize in those. Should you want graduation booklets, wide format photos, any posters for concerts, business at the church, you can also get those, such as tied envelope, visitor's card, school students. We have portfolios that we can offer you, special funeral packages. We do vinyl printing. Our phone numbers are 352-2679, 352-2681. Email address, dynastygraphics@gmail.com.
Hey there, welcome back to Health Bites. If you're over 50 and you're trying to live to 100 plus, you need these 4 supplements. Beet powder is great for energy and endurance, great for blood flow, and it's even great for your immune system. Turmeric is great to help reduce joint pain, it helps improve brain health, and it also helps to reduce inflammation. Omega-3s also help with brain health, heart health, and they can even help to improve your cholesterol. Black seed oil helps to boost immunity, helps to lower blood pressure, blood sugar, and it helps with overall health and wellness. If you're interested in any of the products in this video, or you just want some more information, stop by your nearest Fitness Connection location or shop online at shopfitnessconnection.com.
#1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis.
And I'm Jay Philippe.
Thank you so much for tuning in. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next. Here's a live look. They're on your screen.
Where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival.
Learn how to take small things, brothers and sisters, and manage it until your promotion. You gotta learn how to manage your struggle. You gotta learn how to manage your disappointment. You gotta learn how to manage your frustration. Are you hearing me in the Holy Ghost? You gotta learn how to contain some stuff. You gotta manage your tongue.
Watch us this and every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on ZNS TV 13.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like in our communities, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marlena Leonard and LaDon Davis. 7:30, Monday to Friday. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, cushioning the fallout. The Bahamas braces for new and significant challenges of a deepening global trade war. Also, life vests and body cams, soon a requirement for renting jet skis as authorities look to mitigate U.S. Embassy concerns. And a serious fallout with the F&M leads one of its former executives to back the governing party. Tune in to hear why. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. The gloves are off as the world keenly watches the global tariff showdown. Just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump gave 90 countries a 90-day reprieve for his administration's 10% reciprocal tariff to export duty-free items to America, international media reports cite that he may consider extending that pause. Well, the Prime Minister isn't downplaying the dangers the Bahamas faces right now, but he is confident the Bahamas can overcome any moment of economic peril. Altovise Munnings leads us off tonight with more on the Prime Minister's address on the implications of the U.S. tariffs. Good evening, Altovise.
And good evening to you, Makushla. Well, at the outset, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, declared the Bahamas has had a friendly and productive relationship with the United States for decades. But he wants to make it clear that the country is facing new challenges due to that 10% reciprocal tariff to export duty-free to the United States imposed on the Bahamas. Now, he pointed out that if the 10% tariff on Bahamian goods imported into the United States remains, Bahamian exporters in multiple industries will soon feel the impact. The Prime Minister confirmed that his government has been in contact with United States officials regarding the change in policy, and they're working now with fellow Caribbean countries on collective diplomatic efforts. He's also speaking with Bahamian exporters and working to understand whether there are short-term policies that could be enacted to cushion out the fallout.
My government has taken trade diversification seriously from the start, which means that for the first time, our country has in place an agency dedicated to expanding trading opportunities and a national trade policy. Significant efforts to create new trade relationships were already underway, and those efforts will now be intensified. The new tariffs are likely to cause new inflationary pressures, which would mean higher prices for Bahamian consumers. For a country like ours, higher prices will add to what is already an unbearable high cost of living. We are very concerned about the impact on Bahamian families.
The minister admits tourism may take a hit from these tariffs. The government's relying on its new energy reform plan and that 5% value-added tax reduction of food store items to reduce the burden of high prices. And while the government touts the recent Moody's credit rating from stable to positive, Prime Minister Davis acknowledged that their report did state the country remains vulnerable to external shocks. And this is why he affirms that his government is doing all it can to mitigate economic peril at any cost.
Today, we face new risks amid enormous uncertainty. The U.S. tariffs are the highest they've been in more than a century. And since then, of course, the world's economies and supply chains have become intertwined in complex ways, making it difficult to predict with precision what happens next. Brothers and sisters, we may be in uncharted territory, but we know how to survive storms. We have always found a way to create opportunities out of uncertainty, to forge clarity and purpose from chaos and confusion.
The Prime Minister is confident, Makushla, the country will pursue a constructive path forward as we seek blessings and prosperity for all of our citizens and for all of our neighbors, including our friends in the United States of America. Back to you.
Well, thanks, Altaviz. Well, there seems to be a bit of a silver lining to the escalating trade war. At least Bahamas Air's managing director thinks so. Tracy Cooper reasons that as Americans tighten up, many of them will actually choose travel based on proximity. And that's where he believes the Bahamas comes in.
There is an old adage that says that when Americans have a bit of a difficulty with savings and spendings, that they tend to try to then vacation more closer to home. So we see the Bahamas as actually benefiting from, if the Americans don't want to go to Europe, or they don't want to go to Asia, or they don't want to go elsewhere, the Bahamas is just only 50 miles away. And so I think it is beneficial to the Bahamas. I think we'll see the results of that. But I'm hoping that the tariff thing would all kind of go away eventually.
Well, still on the economy, the Ministry of Finance says a continued growth in GDP is likely when fueled by strong performance in the tourism sector. And that trajectory is expected well into the next fiscal year, cushioned by insurance and contingency funds, substantial external liquidity in the financial sector, all crafted to reduce impact from natural disasters. That rosy outlook on the heels of New York-based Fitch Ratings, giving the Bahamas a BB- rating, predicting a stable outlook for the Bahamas. The government again attributing this to strong governance and fiscal consolidation. Fitch's assessment follows the upbeat rating of Moody's earlier this week, which upped its outlook of the Bahamas from stable to positive. Well, a former F&M vice chair is throwing his full support behind the governing Progressive Liberal Party. Appearing as a guest on the ZNS nightly talk show The Rundown last evening, outspoken political activist Richard Johnson even went as far as to encourage Bahamian voters to run from the Free National Movement, a party with whom he severed ties last June following very public spats and an alleged physical attack. Johnson's comments coming on the heels of the F&M's decision to not run its former leader and former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis as a candidate in the next general election. Johnson chalking it up to pure disrespect. That said, he has expressed every confidence that the PLP will hold on to the government with Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis at the helm.
The Prime Minister's focus, he's about the people, he's about people's policy, and he's about getting on there. I'm not a PLP per se, because I'm not. I believe that that Brave Davis is far better than Michael Pintar to lead this country. That's just my personal opinion.
In the meantime, Johnson is convinced the Killarney MP will opt to run as an independent candidate. Well, jet ski rides with live streaming body cams. Police and government officials working together to come up with solutions to protect tourists and save the #1 industry. And this in the face of 2 alleged rapes involving American tourists and jet ski operators in the past month. Felicity Darville has the story.
The United States Embassy has issued yet another alert to its citizens, advising them of the risks of renting jet skis in the Bahamas. Authorities are now moving quickly to procure body cameras that will have to be worn by all jet ski operators. That, according to National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe.
I understand there is a committee that's chaired by tourism that has representation from the port. And as far as I'm aware, Assistant Commissioner of Police Janet McKenzie is the police representative on it. I support the initiative, the solution being advanced by the police. We have, together with the police, gotten the pricing of the body-worn 4 cameras, the ones that are active live. You can view it real time, and the wearer can communicate back to you, and you can communicate to the wearer. While one doesn't jump to a conclusion about innocence or guilt, the U.S. Embassy will warn its citizens based on what it sees to be credible threats, and so we have to move to minimize those threats.
Once implemented, here's what to expect.
We were told that these are rogue renters who aren't licensed by the port, centralized renting, and the renter would wear it. And a tourism product would be, at the end of it, you should be able to download and get a video of your ride that you could share with friends, put on your social media content. But we have to take away the secrecy in which sexual offenses are committed. Most people do not commit them in the open. And so anywhere that you shine a light will limit or seek to discourage it. As I say, I'm hopeful. I think the police side is a very good one, and I hope that it can be implemented.
Well, authorities are hoping that this measure will help to allay fears of sexual and physical violence. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Economic Affairs Minister, the Honorable Michael Algida, seems pleased with the work being done by the Maritime Revenue Enhancement Task Force, a multi-agency body created nearly 2 years ago to help the government recoup millions of dollars in maritime revenue lost annually. Mr. Algida is telling reporters recently that the task force is conducting its work island by island. He stresses that the body is not implementing any new measures, but rather ensuring that there is compliance with existing law and that the law is enforced.
It's working very well. We think it's a huge opportunity. Our marine environment is one of our greatest assets, and people who, for want of a better word, exploit meaning they come, they enjoy it, they might fish, they might, dive and do all of these things. We have to make sure that, the people of the Bahamas is getting a return on that activity through the proper fees, et cetera, being collected so that we can do things like protection and, conservation, et cetera. So they continue to work. They're doing a fantastic job, led by Commander Boleg.
The minister's comments follow last week's seizure of 5 American pleasure vessels during an operation led by the task force in waters just off Paradise Island. The vessels were reportedly being used for commercial purposes without proper authorization. Customs Comptroller Ralph Monroe says the activity, which violates Bahamian law, appears to be on the rise. Since last year, he says authorities have conducted at least 4 similar operations.
The Revenue Enhancement Unit has been moving about the Bahamas. We sometimes make the mistake in believing that the Bahamas is New Providence, but we have done similar seizure in Abaco, multiple vessels, and of course we've done some in Grand Bahama as well. As a matter of fact, the latest one we have in Grand Bahama is presently before the court. But there was a second one in Grand Bahama involving 3 vessels where hefty fines were paid, similar to what was done in Grand Bahama.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Irresistible taste of a KFC big deal, some people will do anything. KFC is finger-licking good.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is retirement.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
You're looking at a shot there of the waters of New Providence at sunset. That shot courtesy of our drone pilot, Neville Smith. Welcome back. A Bowie, Maryland family suspicion that foul play was behind their loved one's death here in the Bahamas this weekend shot after the results of an autopsy report suggested otherwise. Days after Denari McAlmon's lifeless body was found on a beach on Paradise Island, the pathologist's findings revealed that the 23-year-old died as a result of drowning, but that police were still awaiting the forensic toxicology analysis. Authorities also making it clear that the matter would be forwarded to His Majesty's coroner. But McAlmon's mother, Michelle, told Eyewitness News there were injuries to her son's face and sand in his hair. Now, when asked about claims of the victim being assaulted, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, made it clear he's not part of the investigations. But he did say this.
I'm familiar with the forensic pathologist who was trained in the U.S., who I think participated in some of the work when they were seeking to identify people from ground zero. We have a very competent forensic pathologist. If they do not give faith and credit to her conclusions, which will be in a comprehensive report, I'm quite sure when they transport, they can have another pathologist look at it if they see fit. But I would have faith and confidence in the work of the forensic pathologist, who I know who gives evidence in our court very frequently.
The man accused of murdering a 27-year-old single father formerly charged with the crime. Prosecutor Inspector Dion Barr brought charges against Hakeem Nixon, an 18-year-old resident of John Close. It's alleged that on Tuesday, March 11th, by means of unlawful harm, Nixon intentionally and unlawfully caused Edward Thompson's death. The incident occurring on Fleming Street. Police said the father of 3 young children was walking on Fleming Street when a masked man on a motorcycle pulled up, firing shots in his direction. Nixon was remanded without bail. He returns to court on July 12th to be served a voluntary bill of indictment. Well, suicides in the opening months of 2025 alone superseding the total in all of 2023 and just 2 shy of the total number reported in 2024. What's even more alarming is that one of the victims was Mariano Cherry, a youngster who allegedly took his life before even reaching double digits. Senator Darren Pickstock attributes this to mental health issues having no age limit.
Someone from 8. And I know middle-aged adults to older adults who have all been victims of suicide. And so we just need to give them that support. That's why I'm calling for more guidance counselors in the schools with specialization. That is why I'm calling for more psychiatrists with specialization, because it matters not the age, right? It matters, what matters is that people feel hopeless and they feel that they can't bring themselves out of where they are.
A painful point of reference, but one that's his reason why Pickstock's friend who too took his life. It's for this reason that he's now able to pinpoint the signs.
If you have a friend you haven't heard from them, call a friend. Call your friend. Ensure that, because sometimes, you know, a person can be laughing today and they are struggling. Right? And so we must be kind to one another, right? We must not dismiss people's, feelings. You ask them, what's going on. I haven't, you've withdrawn. I haven't seen you, I haven't spoken with you. And so, maybe this is a clarion call.
In other news this evening, Family Island businesses urged to strengthen their security posture online in order to stay ahead of evolving cyber threats. Figures show that small island businesses are often most vulnerable to cyber attacks, which can lead to operational disruptions, among other issues. It also comes on the heels of recent cyber attacks against national institutions like the University of the Bahamas and the Water and Sewage Corporation. Well, Director of Information Security at Cable Bahamas, Shakira Johnson, recently telling Eleuthera's business community that cybersecurity is pivotal to the growth and sustainability of their operations.
What happens when a business suffers from a cyber attack? Operations grind to a halt, customers lose trust, financial losses pile up, and in some cases, companies never recover. A single breach can wipe out years of progress.
Johnson also urged business leaders to ensure proper mechanisms are in place that will allow their operations to detect, contain, and recover quickly from cyber incidents.
Do you have backups? That's my first question. And if you do, kudos to you. Are you testing them? Are you testing them? And I know these may not be the questions directed to you exactly, but if you have an IT team or someone looking after your technology, these are the questions you need to go back and ask them.
Stay with us. The National Report continues after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Do you ever just want more?
But wait, there's Marco's! Introducing the More Marco's menu, packed with your favorites starting at just $6. Like our warm, golden baked cheesy bread, crispy stuffed pozole. How about a hot, fresh, medium one-topping pizza? Subs, calzones, pizza bowls, and more. Starting at just $6. Certain restrictions apply. More variety, more value, more Marco's! Order today at Marco's Pizza, Bahamas.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the tactical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
This portion of the news is brought to you by 700 Wines and Spirits, bringing celebration across the nation.
Well, we're going to toss it now to LaDawn and Marlena for a check on what's coming up in Access Now.
Well, Makosla, we have a new talk show coming to 104.5 FM, and I think Malena's going to interview our live studio guest this evening.
Yes,
Malena?
we're going to be talking to Gandandy Pender. Are you a fan of radio shows?
I am, and I'm a fan of Gandy.
Love it. Can't wait to hear more
I'm so happy for her, and of course, happy for the Broadcasting Corporation.
Yes, yes.
Stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
Diet-friendly special.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
A taste of Cat Island, Andros, Eleuthera, Grand Bahama, and New Providence to be experienced at this year's BAIC Taste and Tell Expo set for Saturday, April 26th at the Western Esplanade. A variety of Bahamian-made jams, jellies, sauces, juices, sea moss products, wines, and so much more will be featured. This year's event aimed at promoting small and medium-sized Bahamian food processing businesses, bringing together over 40 processors to connect representatives of food stores and wholesale food distributors with owners and operators of restaurants, hotels, and other tourist and domestic-related enterprises. Bahamians are urged to support their own as the country looks to lower import fees. Well, that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Sickness on the job is a possibility. During this time, the NIB Sickness Benefit works for you. Sickness benefit is for qualified insured persons unable to work as a result of a specified disease, physical, or mental disablement. To claim, complete the Med 1 benefit form. Section A of the form is completed by a physician only, verifying one's inability to work, citing the ICD-9 code, a description of diagnosis, and indicating the period of incapacity not exceeding 13 weeks per Med 1 form. The physician signs and dates the form and affixes an official stamp. Forms completed by physicians in another country are required to submit the doctor's or institution's card. The claimant must complete all other sections of the form. Section C is only to be completed by industrial accident claimants. The Med 4 form or employer certificate must accompany the Med 1 form. All forms must be submitted within 3 months of the date of sickness. Late claims are subject to review by the Late Claims Committee. For more information, visit the NIB website at nib-bahamas.com.
Good to grow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Following Agriculture Minister Jomo Campbell's powerful call for youth engagement in agriculture, vendors and attendees are praising this past weekend's Agri Expo as a major success. The 3-day event at the Gladstone Road Farmers Market site not only brought together the industry, but it also brought together the community in full force.
Oh, I think the Agri Expo has been wonderful. It's a good venture because it's useful in many ways. I've been looking for certain plants and I just got myself a soursop plant and I bought pepper, pumpkin and lettuce at a very, very reasonable price.
From farmers to artisans, local vendors showcase their products to thousands of visitors, from handmade seasonings to natural skincare products. And they all told a story of entrepreneurship and hard work.
I'm an entrepreneur for 20-something years. I sat with my girls and told them to think of something that they'd want to do on their own. So they came up with this exciting idea for fun burgers. And the fun burgers, we have homemade colored buns. It's about having fun with the burger.
This is one of the events that we love to tote because we're making money out here. We're getting our product awareness, our brand awareness out there. So it's really a wonderful time out here at the Agri Expo. This is our first time out. Last year we looked at it and we opted not to. And as we were passing by and checking out, I said, look at all those people. And we said next year, we're definitely gonna come out here.
The Agribusiness Expo, under the theme Food Security is Our Priority, successfully ignited public interest in local agriculture and put a spotlight on the economic potential within the sector.
And as a result, more and more Bahamians are realizing the importance of feeding ourselves, and the renewed and enthusiastic expressions of interest in local productions by a wide cross-section of our community is highly evident. It is evident in the number of requests for backyard gardening kits. It is evident in the thousands of Bahamians that flock these grounds during our expos to be empowered. And finally, it is evident, the enthusiasm is evident in our Facebook page, which brags of more than 45,000 views.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
It's Child Protection Month. Let's hear what the authorities have to say about it.
And it's time for the BAIC Taste and Tell event. Bring your taste buds, so the story is on the way.
Plus, let's bark for dogs. Hear the latest from that organization straight ahead.
And coming up in sports, Team Bahamas gears up for competition.
The Bahamas Tonight Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight. Access now.
Our Carifta teams have been named, Marlena, and as you said a few minutes ago, team members are all geared up for competition.
Oh, yes. Well, the excitement is brewing, and I know we're looking for nothing less than gold medals in first place, but first, a big congratulations for them for just making the team.
They all have done so well so far, so best of luck to them, but let's dive right into the news, shall we? As part of ongoing activities to mark Child Protection Month 2025, a special church service was held this week to pray for the nation's children and renew the call to protect them. Diane Dorset has a story.
Inside Bible Truth Ministries, songs of hope echoed as students, staff at the Department of Social Services, and others gathered to uplift the most vulnerable among us, our children. A special service was hosted by the Department of Social Services in partnership with Suspected Child Abuse and Neglect, or SCAN, as part of the national campaign to raise awareness about child abuse and neglect. With more than 2,000 cases of child abuse, neglect, and abandonment reported in New Providence over the past 5 years, Minister Miles Naroda gave this call to action.
Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. This is our call to action as a community. We are called to speak for those who are vulnerable, to stand up for the children who may not yet have a voice, but whose lives are precious and deserving of our protection.
The service featured prayers for abused and missing children, a spiritual charge by founding Pastor Ellison Greenslade, and an urging for all Bahamians to be vigilant and proactive. Students also participated through scripture readings, musical and dance selections, and spoken word. Among them was D.W. Davis student Francina Hanna, who delivered a powerful poem about surviving abuse.
Some days they shouted me in harsh words that made me cry. I felt as though life was too hard, that I wanted to die. They shouted words like stupid, idiot, dumb, and so much more. Sometimes I felt like I could not take it anymore. Even though I went through these things, I did not lose hope. I started to believe in myself, and I was able to cope. I began to believe that I'm special, even if they said I was not.
To conclude was Pastor Greenslade with a stirring message, reminding the congregation that the protection of children is not only a civic duty, but also a spiritual one.
From the womb, God offers care and protection for and the well-being of all his children. And so we ought to be doing likewise.
It truly takes a village to raise a child. And during this year's Child Protection Month, we are reminded that we are powered by hope and strengthened by prevention. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
Thanks, Diane. Well, taste and tell. It's what the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation literally wants you to do at the 4th year of its Taste and Tell Processed Food Expo later this month. And as General Manager Troy Sampson tells us, it's literally no ordinary occasion.
One of them stayed events. The pepper eating competition, I think the winner was paid $500. Right? Come in that competition, just know your eye go water and your nose can run. So even the drinks have to represent who we are as the people in our culture now. It's being put way out there so that people can come and see who we are. Last year, Chairman, the tourists traversing from Arawa Key back to the cruise port flooded the place.
Aside from a time of culture-rich fun and food, his only promise, if you don't show up, you'll wish you did. The expo will take place Saturday, April 26th, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Western Esplanade, and will host a diverse variety of Bahamian vendors excited to give attendees an experience they can't help but tell others about. Take Akira Morley, for example, from Thanks a Bunch, who started from scratch with her banana bread business during COVID.
Just basically, I was at home, just baking banana bread, and one friend stopped by. She came over. She was like, maybe you should get into selling this. And I was like, maybe not. And as I proceeded to continue to bake, a lot of persons were like, oh, I want to purchase a pan, I want to purchase a pan. So have packaging done. Maybe you shouldn't say that. Yeah, I'm gonna have it packaged, and then my goal is to have it in the stores. So I don't only offer the plain banana bread, but we have chocolate chips, raisin, coconut, and then someone just asked me to make Oreo, so I'm gonna do some experiment with Oreo, the biscuits, and the Nutella.
Bring your kids, bring grandma, come with a couple of dollars in your pocket because it's going to be lots of things to sample, and you're going to want to purchase a lot of them to take home with you.
Bark's Spay and Neutering Clinic is still out there doing great things. Recently, I took a look at the program and spoke with an organizer. Here's what I found.
To tackle those cases where you see litters and litters, big population, to let people know, hey, come out, call us up, make an appointment, get your animals done, and get them spayed and neutered. It's better for the animal.
Bark's mobile clinic manager Alicia Curry is happy to report that keeping the population of our four-legged furry friends under control through its spay and neutering nationwide campaign has reaped some positive results over the past year.
We got a new vet in last year, and since he's been here, we are approaching our 3,000 surgery in just under a year. So we're so excited that we're celebrating with this milestone very, very quickly. That would include the surgeries that we've done here on New Providence, as well as surgeries that we would have done in Andros and Exoma and Eleuthera as well, all within the last 12 months.
According to Curry, the Milo and Otis companions have been reproducing at an unusual rate in the Carmichael area, forcing Bark to remain on the ground there since January.
These are all our patients. So we do have a cattery inside where we keep the cats separate from the dogs, and these are some of our patients from today. So these guys are just chilling out post-surgery. So we have a very state-of-the-art bus here where we do our surgeries, our spay and neuters inside the bus, and after we put them in the bus, after surgery, they're able to recover in the bus, and post-surgery, they just come out and enjoy the breeze. Before we give them a good meal, they overnight with us, and then we return them the next day.
Bark is in the Carmichael community every Wednesday through Saturday, and their services are free.
Well, still to come, we're live with Gandy on 104.5. The lady herself is here to explain, so stay close.
Hundreds of high school students gathered at the William Thompson Auditorium to find career and educational opportunities in technical areas during the annual career fair and exhibit.
It's been a very rewarding experience so far. Even though it's just started about a few minutes ago, I've been to a lot of booths to learn about their courses they provide, certifications, and it's a lot of different industry professionals here. We have professionals from Atlantis, we have professionals from banks and financial corporations, and the ministry is a very good initiative to have so that students can explore whatever career options, and even if it's not necessarily what they want to do in life, they can still experience other things and learn about careers in those paths.
Several organizations were on hand to inform students about the myriad of opportunities available to them, including members of the Scholarship and Loan Division.
Today we're here to display the students the scholarships that we currently offer, along with all the majors that they must apply for or be pursuing. Our scholarship application is currently open. The scholarship closes on March 31st, and students are free to apply at scholarshipsbahamas.com.
Director Dominique McCartney-Russell expressed her excitement about the opportunities available to students within technical areas.
I am so elated about this educational model. This is my favorite educational model. There is no other model that allows for students to learn theory and then get the practical hands-on experiences.
With career and technical education, the opportunities are endless. Jonalie McIntosh for Ed Talk.
Welcome back. There's the Paradise Island Lighthouse located on the western tip of that island. The white lighthouse with the red lantern was built in 1817, the first in a series built by the Imperial Lighthouse Service. That live shot is brought to you by our drone pilot, Neville Big Nev Smith. Good shot, Nev. Now let's take a trip down to Eleuthera. Let's go.
There's a saying, you put in the the work and you get results. The mantra Bahamas Striping Group of Companies is following as it moves full steam with its Eleuthera Road Improvement Project. Autopsy Munnings explains.
Inter-island transporting of freight and equipment is one of the challenges Bahamas Striping Group of Companies officials have to contend with on a daily basis. Overcoming logistical woes at its Eleuthera hub is one solution to propelling the company's progress.
It's more easier here because we have different landing spots. So you have a boat coming Rocksound as well as the Governors, and then sometimes have Hatchet Bay. So if you miss one, you have the opportunity to catch the other one. So that's been a plus for us. But at the end of the day, the whole idea for us is to keep the project going, so we always try to have materials on island before we actually need it, and to keep a good stockpile in stock.
The Eleuthera Road Improvement Project will cover the island's 163 miles, and residents are already enjoying the benefits, coupled with the economic activity it has spurred.
That's as simple as we have 50 additional guys on the island living and spending in the local businesses. So that in itself at this time I think is a boost to the economy.
The striping company is currently working on 2 major family island projects, which requires a lot of labor and equipment. But according to Bahamas Striping Group of Companies President Ontario Mitchell, there is an evident difference in plant size.
The Exoma plant output is 110 tons per hour. The plant you see in the back of me is 160 tons an hour. So because we want to be able to get more work done quickly, it was necessary for us to get a larger plant than the one we have in Exoma. When you look at the amount of work, it definitely needed.
The Eleuthera Road Improvement Project is expected to be completed in 2028. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Autopsy Munnings.
Great job, Alto. Well, live with Gandy on 104.5. We're going to find out all about what that means from the lady herself, Gandandy Pender. Welcome to Access Now.
Hi, thank you. First of all, congratulations on this amazing show. I love it. I love the dynamic between you and LaDawn, and it's beautiful. I love the points and the history. This is what we need in the Bahamas, girl. Y'all are doing it.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Gandandy Pender, and what do you do?
Oh, wow. So many things, I guess. I was in media and public relations for a long time. I actually took a break from radio, I guess, for the last 10 years, but right now I have a company. I'm the CEO of NPR Bahamas, and I focus on marketing, public relations, branding. We do customer service, training, and development. And then a big part of what I do is artist management and development, which I love. So I get to manage artists like Kenyatta Taylor, who has his new single out, Not Going Back, about to do a Rake and Scrape album, Bloody, Mr. Mahalia himself, and Peace in the Valley, El Polly, who is, up and coming. He's with the Pawn Band itself, and Landlord and Shan. And so it's just a wonderful family, and I love what they're doing, spreading the culture. But we want to be the light to pierce through the darkness. So it's a vision and values company. So I was like, well, if you want to be NPR, you might not be able to sing this, you might not be able to sing that, but it works so well. I love how they're received all across the Bahamas and on the family islands, and it truly is a labor of love.
Amazing. Well, 104.5 is one of our radio stations here at the Broadcasting Corporation.
Yes.
Can you tell us the good news about your new show?
Yes, for the first time I'm announcing. I kept teasing on social media that I have an announcement. I am coming to ZNS. It'll be my first time on radio in just about a decade or over a decade, so the return to radio. I'm very excited. I met with B-Man. He's been guiding me through the process. It really got real when I had to enter the code the other day, and I was like, oh my God, it's Oprah Roach. Oh, it's Ronald Sims. Oh, it's the B-Man. Oh, it's Primetime Dion. Like, all of the legends were just in the hall. It's a very long hallway, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, but it was just so amazing, and I'm just so honored to be here. And you cover the Bahamas, you reach as far as Turks, and I'm excited to get back on radio and just bring the people me, Gandy.
And then speaking of being on radio, and people are excited to hear from you too, what kind of guests are you going to have on your show? Who are you looking to have on the show?
Woo! I will have the history makers, changers, world changers, people who shake things up, people who are really immersed in culture. So one of my strategic partners is the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. I'm excited to have their youth department on. Their theme is Voices Unlocked, celebrating people who are doing things around the world. One of my segments is Bahamians Abroad. Another segment is Better Bahamas, which I took from Bamboo Shaka. Better Bahamas begins with you, also a strategic partner. Bahamas Air, and who today, we just came back from Orlando. 40 years ago today, they flew from Nassau to Orlando, and that was fantastic. And I want to reach, I want to touch the people, I want to feel the country. I want to be on the island when Mama is baking from the rock oven. You know, I want to go to Cat Island, I want to see it all. And ZNS gives me that opportunity to just reach and touch everyone all across the Bahamas, to tell stories, to hear stories, to listen, to feel. What I really want to do with this show, Marlena, is cultivate a healthy culture of communication, collaboration. When we help each other, we all win. Debbie Bartlett always used to say, help each other succeed. Women helping other women. So collaboration, communication, and celebration. Who we are, what we do.
I can't wait to see it. Well, how long is the show each day and when does it start?
Okay, so it starts Monday, Holy Week, and one of the guests that I hope to have is Bishop Leish Boyd, and so I'm looking forward to that. And Holy Week is going to be a little different, and so we're going to ease in time of introspection and reflection, but Monday through Friday, 12:30 until 1, right before your amazing newscast. So short and sweet, and we got to get it all in.
Amazing. Can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, Gandandy Pender, for joining us tonight. We all look forward to seeing your new show. And now, all the best to that show. And let's take a look at what's coming up in sports.
Awesome.
Fresh faces prepare to represent the country at this year's Carifta Games. Details of that story coming up in sports.
Celebrate youth, lower ball rates, and save even more. Super value and quality supermarkets. Healthy choice soups, assorted 15-ounce, $2.59. Ginger Abbott flour, 5 pounds, $3.69. Kellogg's Family Size cereals, assorted 24-ounce, $6.29. Fresh salmon, $9.99 per pound. Rice delicious apples, 3 pound bag, $3.49. Sign up for join the Super Value Quality Digital Rewards Program at any Super Value and Quality Supermarkets location.
While others see customers as numbers, we see our customers as people, neighbors, friends who deserve more than one-sided connections. That's why we are redefining what real connection is by prioritizing our customers and showing our appreciation by putting our money where your loyalty is. BTC customers, claim your $200 Bahamas Air gift card when you add postpaid mobile to your internet plan. That's loyalty that flows both ways.
Fuel the difference. Ruby's Ultra Tech in your car. Fill up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Spend less and go far. Fuel up with Ruby's Ultra Tech. Get the most out every ride. Just watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel up with confidence in every mile. Get Ruby's Ultra Tech in your tank and drive with a smile. Watch your car perform with the best fuel inside. Fuel the difference. Ruby's Ultra Tech.
Welcome to your Thankful Thursday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. Well, as Team Bahamas continues their preparations for this year's Carifta Track and Field Championships, we hear from some new faces and a veteran on their expectations for the group and their preparations thus far.
It feels good. And like I said, I know about to make it this far now. Making it this far is a big accomplishment for me. Really what a goal I was setting in my head. Always wanted to be up. I participated in the 1500 and the 3K, the long distance races, the men race. I call it the men race. This is the hard distance races. The hardest races. Nobody else, even my, you know what I mean. They don't want to compete in this.
They started all about from July.
all them 12,600s, 10,600. It was just a lot of hard work. Many days I wanted to, give up, but, coach kept me going, kept me motivated. It feels good, like I have never run on this big stage before. I had this opportunity. I'm thankful for this opportunity. I just want to make my Bahamian family proud and do my best for my country.
In what he calls a full circle moment, throwing coach Kyle Higgs says it's a marathon, not a sprint.
I think that we have a very strong team heading with us to Trinidad. I'm looking forward to everyone's successes, bring home many medals and success stories back to families, parents, and schools to celebrate. For me, it's really just been a matter of getting these kids to understand that this is a journey. Success is a destination, but at the same time, success is also small steps. And that's what we have to understand. We have to come to practice to get better, 1% better, day by day. Don't shoot for the moon necessarily. That's the big goal. But we can't look for the big goal, in one day. Rome was not built in a day, and at the same time, our success stories aren't written in the same day. So we just apply that concept and that mentality to practice. And, we apply cues, and bit by bit, step by step, we work towards a perfect throw.
Olympic gold medalist Agri Pender also giving remarks for the young, talented athletes.
So proud of them. I remember when I was in the position, trying to make the Tariff team, and these guys was able to pull it off, doing some hard training on and off the track. So, man, it all came together in the right time, and I'm proud and happy for them. It's track and field. Anything can happen at any given moment. So just being able to complete, their race, they make it so far, and be happy and compete with the best.
And that does it for your Thankful Thursday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Eugene Stewart. Stay tuned. We've got weather when we return.
Gandandy Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Solomon's, we don't just believe in great brands, we believe in creating unforgettable memories and celebrating everyday living with you and your family. Every aisle is filled with all you need, a great value with variety and a selection of all your favorite groceries and products, saving you time and keeping you on a budget. Great food changes everything. Shop at your local Solomon's for food, for family, for you.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast. Front boundary pushed through the northwest Bahamas yesterday, bringing with it some much-needed rains, but we expect a slight warm-up tomorrow, but that will be short-lived. The reason being, we expect yet a second front system move through the area sometime on Saturday, and that will bring in some nice cool temperatures, which will be with us for several days, lasting greater part of next week. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. In the Northwestern Islands tonight, the winds are going to be north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. The wave height is 2 to 4 feet. High tide takes place at 7:27 this evening. And for the central and southeastern parts of our country tonight, light and variable winds with flat seas. Tomorrow, and for all areas, we will have those flat sea conditions again with light and variable winds. High tide tomorrow, 7:41 in the morning, with a low tide at 1:53 in the afternoon. And as we take you into Saturday, this is when we expect that front to move in. We'll have those westerly winds picking up in speeds, 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet. But as we get into the afternoon hours, after that front goes through, those winds will swing out of the northwest, and that will pull in that cool stream of air, which will be with us for the greater part of next week. Now, your high tide on Saturday, 8:17 in the morning, with a low tide at 2:26 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands, once again, light and variable winds with flat seas, beautiful boating conditions for the next several days. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
I do this for we, I do this for culture. I do this for you, just to show that I love ya. Don't mind anybody else, you got to think for yourself. Some things I
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. LaDawn and Malia.
Thanks a lot, Basil. One more day for some cool weather, and I can't wait.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait for the Easter holidays. Well, let's see what's happening with Matea Cunningham, and let's talk socials.
Today, we're taking a look at a viral video posted by the Ministry of Education. In the video, we can see high school students being practically shown the adverse effects of trying to function mobily under the influence. How did they recreate this warped reality, you may be wondering? Well, the Royal Bahamas Police Force's traffic unit had their students test out their impairment or drunk goggles. These goggles are supposed to heighten the reality of what being under the influence can really feel like. Enough of me talking. Take a look.
Let's go, 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 let's go. King Kong, here we come, running through the door. Don't wait long, don't blink twice. Going, we're gone. Let's go.
It's awesome to see how creative the police have become in their efforts to steer students in the morally correct direction. What do you think of this effort? Let us know down below in the comments if you're watching via social media live stream. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials. Have a wonderful rest of the week and an even better weekend.
Great as always, Matea. That's a wrap for us tonight. Make sure to join us tomorrow at 7:30 for more Access Now.
And stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson, whose guest tonight is the singing bishop, Lawrence Roll. So you can expect a very exciting show.
Exciting indeed. Good night, everybody.
At Harold One, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us again. Well, just hours after United States President Donald Trump gave 90 countries a 90-day reprieve from the U.S. government's 10% reciprocal tariff to export duty-free items to the U.S., international media reports state that President Trump may consider extending that pause. Now, the Davis administration is closely watching these turn of events, and it has even prompted Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis to address the implications of the U.S. on the Bahamas. Altaviz Munnings tells us more.
At the outset, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis declared the Bahamas has had a friendly and productive relationship with the United States for many decades. But he wants to make it clear that the country is facing new challenges due to that 10% reciprocal tariff to export duty-free to the United States imposed on the Bahamas. The Prime Minister confirmed that he has talked to leaders of other countries, reached out to local business executives, and consulted with economists and trade experts to assess the likely impact and plan for multiple scenarios.
If the 10% tariff on Bahamian goods imported into the United States remains, Bahamian exporters in multiple industries will soon feel the impact. We have been in contact with U.S. officials regarding the change in policy, and we are working with fellow Caribbean countries on collective diplomatic efforts. We are also speaking with Bahamian exporters and working to understand whether there are short-term policies we could enact to cushion the fallout.
This is where the government's trade diversification project comes in. For the first time, the Bahamas has an agency dedicated to expanding trading opportunities and a national trade policy. Significant efforts to create new trade relationships are already underway and will now be intensified. However, the Prime Minister laments that
the new tariffs are likely to cause new inflationary pressures, which would mean higher prices for Bahamian consumers. For a country like ours, higher prices will add to what is already an unbearable high cost of living. We are very concerned about the impact on Bahamian families.
And that relief for Bahamian families involves the Davis administration's new energy reform plan and that 5% value-added tax reduction on food store items. While the government, though, touts the recent Moody's credit rating from stable to positive, Prime Minister Davis acknowledged that their report did state that the country remains vulnerable to external shocks. This is why he affirms that his government is doing all it can to mitigate economic peril at any cost.
Another significant risk to the Bahamas is that a slowdown in the U.S. economy will slow our tourism industry. We will be convening industry leaders as we evaluate options for mitigating the risk we face. If the new tariffs are not significantly unchanged as U.S. policy evolves.
The Prime Minister concluded that the U.S. tariffs are the highest they've been in more than a century, and he recognizes that although the Bahamas is entering uncharted territory, we can survive storms. And as a nation, he says, we will pursue a constructive path forward as we seek blessings and prosperity for all of our citizens and all of our neighbors, including our friends in the United States of America. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Autopsy Munnings.
So what in essence does it mean? Well, quite simply just that. Tighten your spending. That's what it all boils down to, you know. One of the things about governance is that it's always unpredictable, right? You can be on a pathway to what is called great governance and things going well. Then all of a sudden, there are either natural occurrences that happen that impact your spending and your plans, or there are global changes, global effects and impact that change governance. And what you would have been on a trajectory path to successful tightened spending and economic recovery is now jeopardized because of what's happening globally. That's what happens in governance, right? You plan this is going to be a great year, then something happens and it's not a great year. It ends up becoming a difficult year, or one that requires tightening when they thought maybe we can spend a little more. We now have to tighten the purse because of what we are facing. That's what governing requires, right? And we saw this coming, but no one knew to the degree to what this would actually turn out to be when the Trump administration took office. No one knew that tariffs would go through the roof. No one knew that trade wars would begin. That was not on the agenda. What was on the agenda for many countries was recovery. After coming through decades and years really, of difficult times, people thought this is a great time to recover. The Bahamas has not had a significant hurricane or natural disaster in about 5 years, and so this has been a period of recovery for the country. And so ahead, the predictions were just that. Even Moody saw it, and we see Fitch, which we'll get to in a second, is saying the same thing. People saw it as, okay, this is a good path to be on. The trajectory says all systems go, you're gonna look good. And then what happens? It says if something happens, though, you're gonna have to tighten. You're gonna have to adjust your spending. Your tourism market, which is your biggest economy, could be on the line, could be impacted because of what's happening globally. So here we now have the Prime Minister last night, late, releasing this new statement to the country saying, listen, we're watching it. And while we have a 90-day window where things may still be as normal, that could soon change. We don't know what the United States is going to do. And guess what? They're our biggest trading partner. And that means we have to find ways, creative ways to keep our economy going, keep prices down, and keep tourism up. And so obviously a lot of the plans that the government has introduced that was supposed to help Bahamians feel some relief, thank goodness they're putting it in place, because what it will do is it will soften the blow, but will it be enough? Only time will tell whether it will be enough, because prices are predicted to go up. And so even though government is putting in place measures to bring relief, you can still see high prices because we import everything. We don't make it here. We have to bring it in. And that means when you're bringing it in, the cost of manufacturing it somewhere else is going to go up because they're paying tariffs. And so it means at the end of the day, you need to tighten your purse in spending so that you're able to weather the storm and choose wisely what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Well, we talked about Fitch's rating. So strong governance and fiscal consolidation are among the efforts contributing to a favorable rating for the Bahamas from Fitch. Now, the U.S.-based credit agency's rating has listed the Bahamas an inaugural long-term foreign currency issuer default rating of BB-. Doubly negative is what we call it, predicting a stable outlook, though. This spells good news for the country, that according to the Ministry of Finance. Now, in a statement, the ministry predicts a continued growth in GDP is likely, that fueled by strong performance in the tourism sector, well above pre-pandemic levels. And that trajectory is expected well into the next fiscal year, cushioned by insurance and contingency funds. Substantial external liquidity is the financial sector. And of course, all crafted to reduce impact from natural disasters, right? Now, with observed improvements in debt indicators by Fitch, with debt to GDP decreasing to some 81.5% in the 2019-2020 financial year, the ministry feels this foreshadows a new era in marked improvements in the country's international rating, creating a positive re-rating trajectory. That's a lot, right? What is it saying? Well, it's saying you're doing okay, Bahamas. That's what I'm summing it up to be. You're doing okay, but keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on what's happening internationally. Keep your eyes on if you're going to have to make some reaction or adjustment if something happens that is going to cause you to go into some unpredicted spending. You're going to have to make sure that you can adjust what you're doing in fiscal responsibility. It's something government has been working on and trying to manage with the financial team in place with Prime Minister. They've been trying to ensure that, listen, if something comes out unexpectedly, can we manage it? How do we manage it? Can we find funding for it if it needs to be without putting a shock on the economy? And that's what fiscal prudence is all about. And we're going to watch that, hopefully, as we get ready to go into hurricane season in June. We're praying, obviously, that this year, again, we're spared, because we definitely don't need that in this year where there's a trade war going on. On to another story, and I'm glad to report this tonight. We've got an update tonight on the story we aired last night involving Deandra Newton and her 7-year-old daughter, Royalty. Now, the Abaco mother has been appealing to the Ministry of Education to allow her daughter, who has cerebral palsy, to remain in school despite her daughter's disability. She maintains her daughter is a smart child who can read and write. Well, as you saw her on the show last night, we got a chance to talk to the beautiful young lady herself, and she was so smart and educated. This was just last night. Well, we've got good news to report tonight. The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training advised in a statement today from the Minister, Glenys Hanna-Martin, that after consultation by the Department of Education's Abaco District with the parent concerned, it is anticipated that the student in question will resume in-person classes immediately, as the necessary support has been identified to fill the gap previously created by the resignation of the school's employee. Now, the ministry's uncompromising commitment is stressing that in the inclusion of all children, including special needs children, through training, testing, evaluating, expanding opportunities, and building capacity, because every child counts. Education officials want to ensure and renew their commitment that no gaps are created in the critical commitment. I said last night, at the end of that interview and that story, if there is one person who's going to get to the bottom of this and resolve it, it will be Glenys Hanna-Martin. And in less than 24 hours, it has been solved. I told you, Minister Glenys Hanna-Martin is a woman of action who's concerned about every child. And as we also saw in that interview last night, there is no reason that child should not be in school. She is smart beyond her years for someone who is dealing and battling cerebral palsy. She is able to interview with me, some adults are challenged in doing interviews. But she did an excellent job last night talking to me, telling me she misses school. Her favorite subject was math, and just saying she wanted to get back in school. And I'm so happy to report tonight that she will get that wish, and she will be able to return to school because the necessary things have been put in place by the Ministry of Education to ensure she can have a normal education. Congratulations. I always like to see stories end on a positive note. That's what we all do in our country. Well, we've got another Power Pack show for you tonight. The chairman of the Bahamas Development Bank is here to tell us about the number of events they have planned to bolster the business and entrepreneurship around the country. Then, of course, you know, next week is Holy Week. We won't be on the air because as we do around here, we observe Holy Week with no talk shows, and so this is our last show. But one of the most sacred periods in the Christian calendar will be observed. Rector of Holy Cross Anglican Church, Father Ethan Ferguson, he joins us tonight as well to talk about the significance of Holy Week. And y'all, we're going to end on a high note tonight, literally a high note, or in his terms, a louder note. The singing bishop is also here. I tell you, we're going out for Holy Week in grand style. Bishop Lawrence Roll has an upcoming concert. He's going to tell us all about it. And he got a new hotline. He's going to show us that hotline. And maybe I can get him to sing a little line for me for us to go out. It's going to be an exciting show. Stay with us. The Rundown is back on the ZNS network right after the break. Stay close.
Hi, everyone. When heading to Florida to shop for your essentials, book your transportation with GoGoFlorida.com. The $100 cash deposit is back now on your debit card. Accepted at Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Palm Beach, and Orlando. Now, there are lots of options to choose from, but I like the Tesla X, the electric vehicle, because I don't have to worry about gassing up. Or the Jeep Compass Seating 5 with lots of space for your luggage or shopping bags. For the best deals, book now at GoGoFlorida.com, BahamasAir.com, and also available at Bahamas Air Sales Office.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
Welcome back to The Rundown. It's great to have all you with us. Those of you who are watching in the Lion's Den, it's always good to have you with us. I see you there in the Lion's Den on Facebook, and then those of you watching by YouTube, whether you're in Turks and Caicos Islands, on your platforms there, or around the region, or internationally, or just here at home on your various platforms, it's great to have you with us. Thank you for being with us. Well, empowering Bahamians for ownership because we're Bahamians too. That's the motto of the Bahamas Development Bank. The BDB is the government's primary provider for promoting industrial, agriculture, and commercial development, facilitating participation in approved enterprises while stimulating and enhancing economic development nationwide. Giving us an update on their agenda is the chairman of the Bahamas Development Bank, Gil Kassar. Sir, welcome to The Rundown. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
I want to begin, first of all, in talking about the focus of the bank in 2025. What is the agenda of the Bahamas Development Bank?
So the agenda is to drive impact as widely as possible across our archipelago. And so that means touching the blue economy, green economy, orange economy, and really a diversity of Bahamian businesses and aspiring Bahamian entrepreneurs. And so we do that in the form of course, lending, but also grant programs, as well as now consulting. For certain businesses that would like to impart opportunities to Bahamians, and there are some examples there. And now we're also brainstorming a potential investment arm to the Bahamas Development Bank as well.
Really?
And in addition to that, this is going to be a year underscored by efficiency as well as by digitization. And so we do have some initiatives underway along that vein.
You talked about just now, and I thought it was so intriguing, that you're supporting not just the traditional pillars that we know about, agriculture, tourism, but you talked about the orange economy and other economies, which I found interesting because a lot of people are afraid when you say orange economy, or we don't support, or we don't invest, we don't lend to people in those creatives. Talk a little bit more about that, because I think a lot of people are probably perking up their ears now saying, do you mean there's an opportunity for me to get support for my business, which may be in the creative industry?
Absolutely. We believe that all industries deserve funding, and the orange economy brings so much excitement to almost every industry. I think the creativity touch is necessary. That being said, we have no biases as it relates to any particular industry, and tourism, of course, is our #1 industry. And it's a rich and fertile environment for creatives, whether that's in terms of products or in terms of experiences. And so the orange economy is vital to the backbone, really, of our #1 industry. And so we underscore that opportunity.
How has your portfolio been? Has it been growing? Is it one where there's high delinquency? Talk to me about your portfolio.
Well, we've actually witnessed a uptick in terms of conformity with loan payments, and so we see the Bahamas Development Bank moving on a very positive trajectory, and of course, we see that we were able to secure a funding with the African Exim Bank, and that signals that we have international lenders as well that are finding interest in collaborating with the Bahamas Development Bank. We continue to implore entrepreneurs to partner with us as they grow and as they look to right-size their financing needs. And so that's another aspect that we're looking to lean into, not just the pre-funding support, but the post-funding support. And what does it mean to properly manage funds after you get it?
Right, right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you raised that issue, because that's one of the challenges you find with entrepreneurs, right? They may have a good idea, maybe doing well in their business, you can show them the books, and you're like, okay, no, this ain't gonna work, because they're probably lousy bookkeepers.
Right.
And so there is support coming in place now for entrepreneurs after the fact on how to manage and organize their funding.
So we're looking to build out a network of professionals that essentially will be available to entrepreneurs, whether that be subject matter experts. And so perhaps you're in agriculture and you need someone who has a master's degree or a specialty over a number of years in egg production or any other niche area. And also from a financial standpoint, I think there are a number of firms here in financial services that offer those types of services to keep entrepreneurs on track. And so we are looking at building out that organic network.
You talked about your partnership with African Exim Bank. Let's talk a little more about that and how that came about and what that will do.
Well, certainly it will drive a lot of impact. It's $30 million.
$30 million.
It's $30 million.
Wow.
And so we have already taken a drawdown against that, and so there is real funding available for Bahamians. That being said, of course, it was the diligent efforts of the Bahamas Development Bank as well as our Prime Minister that was able to bring that opportunity to the table.
Now, you talk about, obviously, being able to now finance, I guess, ideas and businesses. What does that now mean to you, who your client should be? Who should be your client? What should they come with? And what all services are available to the person to come to the door? Is it a regular bank if you can walk in as a Bahamian and say, listen, I'm looking for a loan to do X, Y, Z? What are the criteria?
You know, the Bahamas Development Bank needs to stimulate the economy. And so with that comes great responsibility, but it also comes with empathy. And so there's a lot of industries that, quite frankly, don't qualify for what the commercial banks are willing to lend for.
Correct.
And some individuals may not be who the ideal candidate of some of the other commercial banks may want. And so I think as a development bank, we have to have empathy, but we also have to not have any prejudices.
Correct.
And so we're looking for everyone. We're looking for youth, we're looking for women, we're looking for persons with disabilities, and we're looking for people from all over the Bahamas. And so what do you need? Of course, it depends on the option that we have. For example, one of the new offerings that we have is for persons with government contracts. And so one of the issues about being able to take advantage of those types of opportunities is that word mobilization.
Right.
And so now we have an offering where you can bring your government contract, and we will take a look at assessing the performance risk of it and mobilizing you. And so this again allows us to have a focus on small and medium-sized enterprises to have a good distribution of funding.
Are you seeing that people are being true to their word once they get funding from the bank and looking to actually make those payments?
You know, it takes wisdom to be able to properly create the infrastructure of a loan offering. And so what that means is we are taking a look at properly studying the actual needs, right, of the project, taking a look at to what extent there are hard assets that can secure, of course, the loan, and so there is a collateral requirement on the loan side. And then we also take a look at the real market studies. And so there's the team that looks at real research and to see if the business plans are well thought out. As it relates to the way that funding is dispersed, what we've been looking at is rather than giving it all up front, perhaps giving it in tranches to allow a trend to take place before additional tranches become available.
Obviously, the question is, at the end of the day, the plan is to eventually see these businesses become successful and be able to eventually turn a profit and do well and be able to obviously pay the bank back so that other people can borrow and have access to the financials. Is it also operating, does the development bank also operate as the bank does with bank accounts and savings and withdrawing? Can that happen as well?
Well, we primarily focus on the providing of financing and not so much the operation,
commercial lending, commercial
accounts, and so on. However, we are looking to diversify the options that we make available for entrepreneurs. So, for instance, one of the things that we're looking at is a digital platform where entrepreneurs can engage in international trade. And I know that's a hot topic. Things happening around the world. And so, in those instances, we're looking at what a proper toolkit is. Of course, having your regular savings and checking accounts with other commercial banks remains important. However, what are the other things in your toolkit as a business owner? Whether that is a digital platform, whether that is post-funding support, point of sale platforms, things like this.
People are obviously concerned as to, okay, I have a business idea, I want to expand, or I have a great idea, I want to go into business. But is this the right time, considering what's happening internationally, considering what's happening with the markets, considering what's happening with the U.S., our closest trading partner? I'm hearing people talk about tariffs, and if I begin a business, am I going to be able to afford to get my goods in?
Right.
What advice do you give to people right now? They're thinking, do I want to go and expand? Do I want to go and get money from the Bahamas Development Bank? Is this the right time to expand or create my business?
I think it's the right time still, and I think it's always been the right time to start your own business. I think that people often underestimate their capabilities, and we live in a highly digital and connected world where I feel that the shapes of business plans can take a form that suggests an international reach. And of course, it's a dynamic environment that continues to change, but such is life. And so, I believe that this is the perfect time to get into tourism-based businesses, to get into housing projects, to get into a myriad of different smart climate finance considerations. And what you have to do is really be attuned to your environment, and you have to, in a real way, do market readiness testing. I think most entrepreneurs, for the most part, need to take a somewhat of a toe in the water, but at the same time get out of their head and into action so that markets can teach them what they really want. And that takes some level of bravery to validate a business case. You have to test the hypothesis, if you will.
You're reintroducing the Green Lending Program. What is that?
And so what we're doing with that is very exciting. Again, we're all about smart climate initiatives as a country. And so this is about allowing Bahamians to get electric vehicles, whether it is through the Icon or EV motors or easy car sales, where we're not requiring you to have to make a deposit as it relates to getting the financing.
Wow.
And so we call it 100% financing to encourage persons moving in the electric vehicle space to support their businesses.
That's a great initiative.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you the final response. What do you want people to know today about the Bahamas Development Bank? What do you want to tell them in these final moments?
The Bahamas Development Bank is your partner. We're looking to empower you. We believe in Bahamian ownership, and we want you to know that we're here to help you as it relates to grant funding, as it relates to lending. And don't hesitate to visit bahamasdevelopmentbank.com and to even stop by, and we do dutifully have persons available to assist them.
Now, I've got to ask you, is it only for Bahamians, or are you lending and providing grants for foreigners as well?
We're only for Bahamians.
Just for Bahamians?
Just for Bahamians.
And that is also, aside from loans, I did hear you say grant funding. So that means there are opportunities for persons to get grants.
Yes, there are.
Are those who are paying grants?
Well, no, it's a true grant.
A true grant, the real grant. It's a grant that you got to repay. Well, this is exciting to hear.
Right, so we have an integrated land management program that will be announced in June, and that's some $700,000. Wow. That is for smart climate finance projects involving agriculture. We're still defining the exact amounts available in terms of per entrepreneur, but it's somewhere between $25,000 to $50,000. And in June, you'll hear more about that. And of course, we have the lending programs open as well.
That's amazing. Lots going on in the Bahamas Development Bank. It's not quiet. There's a lot going on here, and definitely you want to get a hold of it. You can go to their website again and get the information. There's funding accessible by you if you go. So go ahead and check it out. Gil Kassar, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for being here. We appreciate it.
Right, thank you very much.
Stay with us. Holy Week. We're going to talk more about it. What does it mean? What should you be doing Holy Week? I can tell you some things you should not be doing. We're going to talk about that. And then a little later, Singing Bishop is here. The Rundown, back after this tickles.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza. Striping group of companies, we have been in Exoma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is to do some work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of flood protection products. Our flood protection products are specifically designed to work together in order to create multiple layers of super strong protection. All these windows, doors, seams, and openings have all been sealed up tight. Now there's a new way to protect your home or business from damaging floodwaters. Get the removable Flex Seal family of flood protection products.
Welcome back to the Rundown. Holy Week is a crucial period in the Christian calendar, marking the final days of Jesus' earthly life and his ultimate sacrifice for humanity. It's a time to teach spiritual reflection, remembering Jesus' suffering, death, and ultimately his resurrection. As the final day of Lent leads to Easter, pretty much. Holy Week starts this weekend with Palm Sunday. Explaining how sacred this moment is Father Ethan Ferguson of Holy Cross Anglican Church. Father, welcome to the Rundown. It's great to have you with us.
Good to be here, Clint.
It's been a period, right? One of the things I like to always observe during the Lent period is the fact that people are busy doing what they kind of should do maybe year-round, and that is denying themselves from something.
Correct.
But I also have people, well, at least Lent period will give you some denial, if not for the entire year. It's a start.
Yeah.
But people are serious about it, regardless of how they frolic year round or how people will say unsaved they are. People practice by making some level of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And then there comes Easter. But I guess I want to start with the question, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Should people return to the old habit after giving it up for Lent? Ooh, yeah, I went right into it. Because a lot of people just count down for when it's over and say, okay,
absolutely,
I go back now.
Absolutely.
Is that the whole idea of Lent?
Absolutely not. In fact, you know, I have a phrase, there's a phrase that has been coined: what you can give up for Lent, you can give up for life.
Oh, I love that one. I love it. I love it.
So the idea is that Lent ought to help us to enact that kind of discipline, that regiment of denying oneself, of getting rid of the things that we know are not helpful or useful to us, the things that are not building us up spiritually and in other ways, and to allow ourselves to focus on letting go of those things. And the idea is that after 40 days, you should already be in the habit of the discipline of having let go, that you do not go
Return back to it.
Correct. But of course, that's not that's not how it usually works, unfortunately.
Now, some people have been giving up liquor, say, well, they can't wait to get their drink. They can't wait to do it. And some people have been giving up some other things around here.
Of course.
And they said they can't wait.
They can't wait until the time has passed, which is unfortunate because it really detracts from the whole idea and the discipline and the meaning of what it ought to be for us.
We go into what we call Holy Week, right? And I'm still glad that even here at the Broadcasting Corporation, we still have some observance. You know, all of our talk shows go on timeout, I call it, for the week, just so that there's a greater reflection. Our programming changes. We have more religious programming in, so people can kind of have a time of reflection. But it seems as though nowadays we're the only ones. Like society has changed so much that there is no longer that quiet period during Holy Week. That let's try and bring it down a notch during Holy Week. Like it's become just another week. Are we losing our savor for the things of Christian principles and values you believe in our country?
Yeah, this is the lament worldwide, I believe. You know, it is not unique to the Bahamas. But the thing is that because the Bahamas especially proclaims this Christian identity, there is a special particular challenge to us to maintain certain mediums of Christianity. What is unfortunate is that as secularism continues to sweep even our country, and there are less people attending church, there are more unchurched people, there are persons who are more agnostic, and atheism is rising in the Bahamas. Because of that, people are staring away from what we traditionally did as a people, collectively. So it wasn't just a group or a facet or corner of us doing things. This is what made us who we are. And unfortunately, we are moving away from that, and people are kind of just losing their center because they are not adhering to these things.
So who do we blame for that? Does that mean the church is not as effective as it should be in our country? Because people are saying, well, if we're moving away from the values and people are no longer conscious enough the way they used to be. Drive past a funeral, they don't turn the music down. People outside funerals now with the T-shirts on, the drinking out of a cooler. We've moved. Does it mean necessarily that the church is not as effective as it ought to be?
I don't want to say that it means that the church is not as effective. There are always ways we can improve what we do, no doubt. There's always room for improvement. What I would say is that, you know, people's mindsets have shifted. And with the birth of a new generation, it is just a different dynamic. There's a different focus. The rise of media, social media, and all of these distractions that have really catapulted a new generation completely away from the norms of what it means to be Christian, of what it means to be Bahamian, of what it means to enjoy our cultural norms and religious norms. And I think that's a big part of the challenge.
Bahamians seem to be, I guess, for lack of better words, we've secularized Christendom, right? We have. We've watered it down. We used to have Sunday school. People went to church 4 times a day on Sunday.
That's right.
The first service, you went to the main, we call divine worship service, 11 o'clock. And then you had evening worship. And then you had afternoon Sunday school.
That's right.
Now, we're down to sometimes 1 or 2 services in the day. That's right. No Sunday schools. The kids never are introduced to church and Bible classes.
Absolutely.
And there's no, it seems to be no pressure that I gotta go to church no matter how late I get home Saturday night. I gotta go to church on Sunday morning. Are we losing what is defined us as Bahamians?
Yeah, we are losing that. We have essentially robbed this generation of what made us who we are.
Yeah.
And that is unfortunate. And, you know, when you were growing up, Clint, or when I was growing up, or, you know, persons older than us were growing up,
like there
was not a question of whether or not you were going to church.
It was automatic.
Or whether or not you were going to Sunday school. It didn't matter what time you got home. It didn't matter what other activities you had to do. People prioritized worship. They prioritized God. And there is no longer that priority. So the children today are there are so many other activities for them. Church is a luxury almost, you know, so they get to choose whether or not they can go because they're in baseball, they're in football, they are in all sorts of extracurricular activities to keep them motivated and to keep them agile. But at the same time, they are losing the center, who is God, and they are losing that commitment and that regimen, that discipline of worship that really harnesses a kind of character in us and kinds of makes us a better people.
So now we look at where we are today.
Yeah.
And next week is Holy Week.
Yeah.
What should people do to maximize the benefit and the meaning of what next week should be about?
Well, you know, the first thing that I can think about is going back to basics.
Yeah.
And while that sounds cliche, I think we need to settle ourselves and to, one, find a place of worship if not finding a place of worship, find a place of private worship and reflection in terms of reading the story again and reminding ourselves of the greatest story that has ever been told.
It certainly is.
And of course, taking back in all of the sights and the sounds and the wonders of that first Good Friday, that first Holy Week, and reflecting seriously and deeply on what Jesus did for us, the sacrifices that he made for us, and of course, the fact that he rose for us as well. I think people have to go back to bringing the family together, reestablishing that family altar, finding time for devotion, finding time for worship, finding time to just reflect. And I think that we are so busy hustling and trying to make the next dollar. And life is doing us. That's the reality. We are so busy doing these things that we are missing the point of it all.
There might be people sitting out there saying, yeah, I want to do that, Father. Yeah, I want to be that, Father. But it seems like such a tall order. How do you begin?
Well, you begin by taking quiet time, just a few moments. And, you know, that may require you getting up a little bit earlier or going to bed a little bit later, but finding a little quiet time and read the story. Finding a little quiet time. There are a lot of churches, I realize that this is a trend that's happening. A lot of churches are having midday services, are having early morning services just to accommodate worshipers. So find yourself in one of those services. There are churches, persons who work in the downtown area, persons who work in certain business districts. There are churches that are having, especially during Holy Week, that will be having services to gear towards the same. Take advantage of those moments. If you have an hour for lunch, take 30 minutes of that hour and just step in and just quiet yourself, reflect, and give thanks for what God has done for us.
Then I want to talk about the resurrection. What should that mean to the believer?
Oh boy, the resurrection is the pinnacle of hope for us. Because, you know, Good Friday, I've said in a sermon before, Good Friday, the devil was having a party because, you know, Jesus had died and his disciples were scattered and things seemed lost and hopeless. But Easter Sunday is a game changer. It means that it does not matter how dark it looks, how difficult things are. It does not matter what it may seem like. God always has the final say. And that is so important. It's important in a culture in which we are living hopelessly. You know, there is a lot of hopelessness, and people are committing suicide, people are committing self-harm, people are doing so many things because of the lack of hope. So Easter reminds us that that hope that Jesus came from the dead is the hope that engulfs our entire being, and that because he lives, we can face tomorrow.
We've got about 90 seconds left. I want you to inspire and just leave a word of encouragement to our viewership during this Easter season.
Well, if I could inspire us, I would just say to us, it is so very important for us to be thankful and grateful. Gratefulness is at the core of us understanding and appreciating what God has done for us. Gratefulness is at the core of us appreciating the sacrifice of Jesus, appreciating the wonder of the miracle of the resurrection. And if we could spend a few moments each day reflecting on this, I believe that it will change the way that we view our lives, the way that we see ourselves, the way that we handle the challenges that come into our lives, and the way that we are able to overcome the difficulties that we face. Because Jesus is alive, we too can live, and we can live a life in its abundance.
Father, I tell you, that's encouraging. I believe you said it right on the nail on the head. So many people are feeling hopeless and going through hopelessness and just need to understand there's something they can believe in again. And there is a hope for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You just got to do is get to tomorrow.
Yes.
And you get that recognize, I can actually do this.
Yes.
If I got through yesterday, I can get through today. That means I certainly can get through tomorrow. Father Ethan Ferguson, it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much, and happy Easter to you, sir.
Same to you, sir.
Stay with us when we come back. We're staying in the theme of things. The singing bishop is here. He's got a big event happening during the Easter. We're going to talk to him about that and some things he's doing. And of course, you see him singing, but he got another talent too. We're going to talk all about it on the rundown. We'll come right back after this break. Stay close.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SPDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this brings great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Welcome back to the rundown, our final segment tonight. The nation loves the singing bishop, and he's preparing to hold a gospel concert that he's hoping you can attend. And of course, we can tell you it's definitely an event you do not want to miss. Bishop Lawrence Roll joins me now in studio here in the rundown. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me here, sir.
And let me say, when I open up by saying the nation loves you, it is the truth. Everywhere you go, you have uplifted, inspired, encouraged, motivated, just done so much to all kinds of people, not just one set group, and you ought to be commended for that. Let's talk about your ministry and through singing over the years. How many years you've been doing this now, Bishop?
At least about from I was about 21, so you could say at least about 43 years.
43 years,
yes.
Bishop. What do you love so much about your music ministry?
I love it. I was singing from a little boy, Ron, at least about 9 years old. Mm-hmm. In the island of Cat Island, when my parents leave me all by myself and I began to sing, I saw the birds, I saw the lizards, and the Lord said to me, I'm going to turn this into an audience. And today, I'm telling you.
So you started out singing to lizard and birds?
Yes, when I began to sing, the birds come, there was my audience in Cat Island.
And did you ever imagine that that would turn into years of large audiences that would come to hear you?
And when I began to work in Life with Care, I was about 14 years old. I saw a star run through the heaven, and the Lord said to me, I'm going to put you before noblemans. And the first song I sung was We Shall Overcome.
Wow.
And I used to listen to Kevin McKinsey as a little boy in Cat Island. And when I met Pastor Vaughn Miller, I said, you know him? He said, yes. And I said, I have a song for you to listen to. And it was We Shall Overcome. And he gave me that name, the Nation Singing Bishop.
And that's how you became the Nation Singing Bishop?
Yes, yes.
You have done major events. I mean, people would literally come early to line up just to get a good seat to see you on that stage. And when you get on that stage, you leave it all there. You leave it all on the stage.
No need.
What comes over you when you're on that stage and you're dancing and you're moving and people are wondering, Lord, is he gonna be okay? What's going on with you during that time?
What I does, anytime I'm going in a concert, the Lord have to lead me. I do inquires of him. And I go into my closet, I said, are you going with me tonight? He said, come, let's go, I'm going with you. And when I come back, I would tell him, thank you for
coming with me, being with me.
And it is the anointing.
More than just being concerts, you have started a movement. Your young people, the men that work with you, the women that are a part of your ministry, there's a sense of support and loyalty that comes from them. Why do they love the Singing Bishop so much?
I don't know why. When I leave this side, Pastor Clint, I'm going to leave empty like Dr. Miles Monroe say. I'm going to give it my best shot. I don't want to quit. I have a drive inside of me, and I has become energetic through the anointing. I depend on God, and I seek no praise, I seek no glory. Every glory belongs to him.
Wow. You were part of a major event taking place recently. The Prime Minister was there on the Saturday evening. Tell us about that event and how successful that was.
Wow, that was a success. About 20 to 30 nations was there. Wow. And one thing I could say with my Prime Minister, he's such a loving individual. And you know what he said to them? He said, my cousin, Bishop Lawrence Roll, refused to quit. There's no quitting inside of me. A quitter never win, and a winner never quit. You got to keep on rolling, and you work with nothing. And seeing that the money is gone, you got to make ways that the money come.
That's right. You have always pressed the wheel to help people in your community. Your church is in 2nd Street, right in the heart of the inner city.
Yes.
And you have many outreach programs. One that's notable is your feeding program.
Oh, wow.
Talk to us a little about how that has been going and how that came about and how many people you're able to feed and minister to.
Well, I was feeding from at least when I was about 16 years old, and in fasting and in praying in Life at Key as being a young boss, as the owners leave their keys with me, I was fasting and I was praying, and the Lord said to me, he said, you are going to feed people. I said, I need to be fed. I ain't got no money to feed people. And he said, just start right now. So my wages used to be like $14. And I went down, there was a Purity Bakery on Bay Street. And I went and I bought a lot of cakes. And I walked the street feeding people. And that feeding ministry grew to be so huge. We reach out now to at least about 1,000 people a week.
1,000 people a week?
1,000 people. If you only see what being there on yesterday, it brings tears to my eyes to see the people running for those clothes. The police in the community from the urban renewal area, they worked with me on yesterday because we got to guard the people. People literally will throw you down for a plate of food.
And you're involved in preparing this meal yourself. Why?
Yes, well, there are times now what I'm trying to do, I have to hire cooks. But when they don't get the food on time, I got to cook. Yesterday, I cooked in the rain.
You were in the rain cooking?
Yes.
What you cook, Bishop?
I cooked conch and rice.
You what?
Conch and rice.
You was giving people conch?
Yes, conch and rice.
Look at you.
Yes, conch and rice. I'm an island boy.
So you know how to fix that meal?
What?
I hear you make a mean potato bread.
Coconut Jimmy flour cake, potato bread, cassava bread, man. Let me tell you something. I could bake a whole hog.
What?
I could bake an elephant and all. What you mean?
Jeez.
Them firewood don't play.
Tell me how supportive have the community been in providing food for you.
Well, I really thank God for the government. The government gave a stipend, but in the meanwhile, I still have to get out there and sing. The reason why I go in concerts to sing, to make money, to make sure keep those people head above water. The young and the old, to be honest with you. And it was so amazing to see as I began to cook and the rain come down so strongly. I say, you think they coming today? But I'm gonna cook anyhow. Man, 12:30, 1 o'clock, they was crowded around the door. In the rain.
I think they come in because it's you. They know they won't be blessed just by being around your presence.
Some of them will catch boat to come there if river was sailing there.
You're getting ready to do something big during Holy Week, your concert. Tell us about it.
Well, we're going to be at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel now. We cannot hold 3,000 people.
I was going to say, the British Colonial Hotel can't hold that much.
Already booked, that's right. This is not like Dr. Miles Monroe Church where about 2,000 people was there around 5, 6 o'clock. 500 to 600 people the most. And on this go round, we're going to have a little, this is Easter Sunday. We have some Easter hats made by me.
You make them. Because people don't know. People only see you singing. They ain't know you could sing, cook, and you could sew. You do the tree.
What? I don't only dance and cook and carry on. Let me tell you something. I'm a man of all trade, all talents. You have to make it work. And anytime you fasting and you praying, Pastor Clint, things gonna always happen out of the ordinary. And so I see things in the realm of the spirit. And this is the first time I ever made these hats. And if you see these hats, you would think these coming from New York.
Bring the hats, bring the hats, bring the hats, bring the hats, guys. Oh my goodness, you made these hats?
I'm a designer, Clint.
Okay, you're a designer.
What you taught, you see these? Oh man, this is the choir hats.
So the choir's gonna be wearing these hats.
It's like you getting married. It's like you getting married.
So these are all hats that the choir will be adorned in.
The choir, very.
And this look like Easter.
Easter.
These are beautiful. And you made these yourself?
I sat down and I made these.
And I see the beading. See the beading on them?
All
the white beading all up in here?
I'm telling you.
Which camera I showing this to? The beading all up on, see the beading on the inside?
And
look at that, man.
That's the bow for your dress right there.
That's the bow. So you put this on your dress?
You put this on your, they're wearing white.
This is the hat right here.
White and silver shoes.
This is the hat. Where's Makusla? I need, come Makusla.
Come here, one you girls.
Come on, Makusla. Makusla's just finished doing the news. Come Makusla. I need a model for the hat.
Come here.
Bring somebody. Where's LaDawn? Come Makusla.
Come here, quick. Come here, girl.
Come Makusla Pender.
Wow. Come here.
This one matches you too. This is peach.
Oh.
She got on peach too.
Oh my God, yes, that's the front.
So come right in the middle of us.
Come right here, girl.
And you fix it on her.
I'm a designer. Come right here. What you scared of?
Look at it.
Oh, look at that. Look at you. Look here. Look like a queen. Ooh. And see right here. Oh my God. Child, you look like $1 million. Give me some money. And you see that? You need to take a photo.
Look at that. You look like a flight attendant.
Look like going to England. You're going to meet the Queen, eh?
That's beautiful. You see that? Thank you, because you can't keep it though. You got to give it back.
This also suited too.
Oh, put that one on too.
See, try this one. Wow. Let me just a little minute there, yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Look, I just...
She crying and all. Wow.
She's so emotional.
You see that? Oh Lord. Look at you, girl. Put the front line in the
Look
paper.
at you. Oh, I know, it's so emotional.
Even the green suits you so. Oh, money coming.
Money coming.
Money coming. See her? Oh my Lord, she's crying. Oh my Lord.
Oh man, beautiful.
Oh Lord. Wow.
Thank you, Makusla. You're beautiful.
Wow.
Bishop, so the choir,
about 40 voices, and each one will be, look here, when ZNS need to be there. When you see them hit the runway on 7 o'clock.
Oh my goodness.
You crying? What you crying for? Oh, dear Lord. What you crying for?
It's just beautiful. So, Bishop, the whole choir being hot.
The whole choir. And they're going to wear a white dress.
Ooh, white
Silver
dresses.
shoes. Look here.
Wow.
It's like you're getting married all over again.
Wow, Bishop. And so you're going to be singing?
Yes, sir.
And you some other artists are going to be there as well?
The Lord give it to me, yes. E-Man is going to be there.
E-Man.
And we want this concert to be featured by the police band.
The police band is going to be there as well?
Yes.
How can people get tickets? Tell them.
Well, there's a slim chance now, but 50 more tickets are there because this concert already booked.
Wow. People have taken the tickets already?
They're going to swarm in there.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you.
Wow. So, Bishop, in our last 30 seconds, give people an encouraging word for the Holy Week and for the Easter season. What do you want to say to encourage them?
Well, it's a must that everybody be encouraged. God got us covered. He brought us from a mighty long way, and much further we are going to go. We're going to make it. We are going to survive because the Bahamian people are survivors.
I believe that.
Oh, yes.
Bishop, thank you for your ministry to the country and the world and for inspiring so many people and for the work that you do with so many people. These beautiful hats, they're just amazing. Listen, your talent is many. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. God bless you.
And I'll be, give me one line or something.
Let me see if I could just, now look here, you got to be the right thing, you see.
Well, you got it in your phone.
Yeah, I got it in the phone.
So I pull it up in the phone. You got it in the phone. Because you got iPhone?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Get this.
You got it.
Do your one shoulder.
One.
You gonna lose weight to do the same. One shoulder.
One shoulder. One shoulder.
Then you wait till the music hit the next one. See? Order pin.
There you go.
Then you put your right foot. You hear the melody up in there?
I hear that. That's sweet.
When they look here, when they lost control, they don't even know.
You got it, Bishop. Thank you so much.
Bless you,
Blessings to you. I appreciate you so much for coming on the show. And all the best. Thank you so much, sir.
To you, blessings.
That does it for the rundown. Be sure to stay locked onto the ZNS network for the Bahamas Tonight at 11. It's the final newscast in the country with the latest news and information with Royston Jones. He's here in the building getting ready. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Remember, that's it. No shows next week for Holy Week. We'll be back after Holy Week. Have a great Easter. Stay safe, everybody. Good night.
Fort Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.